Hello, everybody, and welcome to our awesome Hangout. My name is Zane Miller. I'm the YouTube and Hangout marketing expert, and today we are talking about the amazing selling machine. I am joined here with my brother. He needs to take down his lower thirds though before he introduces us because
Oh,
we're a little ahead
yes.
of that. But that being said, I want to encourage all of you who are watching live right now. We want to take a few minutes and let people just kind of drip in. We've already got a bunch of people already here. Hello to all of you. I want to encourage you to add your comments, add your questions, whatever you're thinking. This is meant to be a conversation and not a big pushy sales thing. That's so not our style. So speaking of our style, Van, why don't you go ahead and say hi to the audience?
Hey, audience. I'm
Yeah.
Zane's older brother, Van.
And now. So again, feel free to drop your comments in, and while you are, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on how this happened. So last year, Jason Fladlin contacted me and said, "Hey, I need to do a hangout," and I didn't know what it was about. I had no idea it was about anything that had to do with Amazon or anything like that. And so we jumped into the hangout with no preparation, and he just started going because he's just good like that. But I was so impressed. I mean, I couldn't even like interact with him. He would ask me questions, and I go, okay, so like, tell me the next thing. so, so again, I was so impressed that like just a few minutes later, I called him and I said, okay, so how do I get involved with this? How do I invest?
Yeah, I mean,
And
he wasn't even
yeah.
really trying to pitch to you. You liked what he was saying.
Yeah, because it just made sense because I'm an internet marketer by trade. I create digital products. Again, my focus is on YouTube and Hangouts and all the cool stuff that happens with Google. So I don't even think about physical products. I mean, I did for a little bit when I first started, but everyone's like, no, no, you don't want to do physical products. It's just way too risky and yada yada. And I just put it out of my mind. But then when I saw an opportunity to do very well with Amazon, and especially seeing someone like Jason Fladlin who makes about $1,500 an hour, he paused his whole business just to focus on that. So on top of that, I started telling a bunch of people about it, and then Jason was so impressed by my excitement that he offered to partner with Van and I, and we accepted because he has an awesome group. And you'll see we'll be talking about some of the amazing bonuses and tools and software exclusives just to Jason Fladlin and our group, and as well as some amazing continual coaching that just comes with it. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it, but that's where I got started. Van, how about you? How did you get started?
Well, that's interesting. And my background is actually in 3D animation. I've been doing it for about 15 years, and I've been doing video games, marketing, art, medical animations, pretty much anything with 3D. I like to dabble in it. The downside to that kind of occupation is that companies you work with aren't exactly the most stable. So I've been laid off 4 different times. I've been self-employed for the last 2 years. So financial stability isn't exactly one of my strongest points in my career. So in March, Zane came up to me and said, "Hey Van, I got this great product. I've been itching to try it out. I'm in a place now where I can actually do it. Do you want to join me?" I'm like, I don't know. Selling stuff's not exactly my thing, and I've never really given it much thought. And so he's like, well, let me just tell you what it's about. So he started explaining how the process works, how you sell things with Amazon. And you have to be living under a rock not to know or have heard of Amazon. So I kind of perked up when he was talking about Amazon, and that got me hooked. The more he explained to me like how we actually got the products and how we got to Amazon, the fact that Amazon does so much of the heavy lifting for you, I I was hooked. I'm like, this sounds like a no-brainer. And for me, I'm a father, a husband, I have 5 boys, which I have to throw this disclaimer out right now. It's spring break for my kids. Everybody's home. So if you hear chaos raining, it's out of my control. It's not much I can do about that. But I am secluded into my room. I've got the door locked. I'm focused on this training or this course that we're going to explain. But anyways, Zane explained this to me, and I'm like, holy crap, this could change my life. I seriously started thinking about all the potential things because then he started showing me the results of some people that have already been doing this and some people that are even local that I got to meet. And it blew my mind. I was just thinking, I could actually get a retirement saved up. I could go on the vacations I've been planning. My kids could actually get college paid for. Because I've always told my kids, You want a scholarship? You got to go get it because I ain't paying for your college. So basically, these things that were felt so far out of reach financially started feeling a lot more tangible, and that really spoke to me. So Zane and I have jumped onto this, and we decided to throw in our hats and really give this a shot. So one of the things that one of the questions that we first get though is people ask us where we are in the process. Um, and to be honest, we okay, first of all, we firmly believe that this thing is legit. I mean, we've gone through the process. We've found our product. We vetted it. We did our research. We got the labels on there. We found a manufacturer. We basically did all the research that we needed to. Got it to Amazon. Amazon's there. They're doing their part. The thing that we're on right now is the reviews, and you'll find that reviews is a fun phase of the product development part. But here's the great part, and we're excited about this too, is Jason, and we'll explain more about this as we get further down the road, has come up with even better ways to get reviews, to get ranking, to do all the things necessary to get your product going. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, and I just wanted to say like one thing, and again, you'll see more, you'll get more of the aha moments, just like we did, and just like I did in October. But let's just put it this way: I can't even walk out of my kitchen without going, you know what, we could sell this product or this product. I mean, weren't you saying something about like brushing your teeth
oh yeah,
and doing the same thing?
I was brushing my teeth. I have one of those Sonicare toothbrushes, and I'm like looking at this. I'm like, holy crap! This, I bought this at Costco. I mean, Costco is like the king of private labeling. I mean, and we're
Right.
going to get into what that's all about. But yeah, it changes your mindset. You start looking around. You're like, I could sell that. I could sell that. And I mean, it's especially when you're doing the searching for your product. So one of the things that Zane and I spent a good 2 or 3 hours yesterday, ironing out the wrinkles to our presentation, and um, then about 8 o'clock last night, Jason puts up on my
Right.
Skype message, "Hey, here's our presentation." And I started reading, and I'm like, "Holy crap! Jason's good at what he does. I'll give him that." And just kind of to explain a little more, Jason and Wilson have put their heart and soul into figuring out how to make this thing the best possible solution to your financial future. It is amazing the kind of tools that they've come up with, and so we're actually we're presenting on their behalf, and so we're an affiliate of them, and they're an affiliate of the ASM guys. And so basically, it's kind of like what I'm getting to is that when you go out to eat, you tip your waiter, you don't tip the manager. Since we are affiliating with Jason, we ask that you, when you decide that you're going to buy this, that you buy through our affiliate link so that we can get the commission, basically. We're putting a lot of work and effort into this. We've been preparing this for the last 2 months to really get this thing up and going. So, but the thing is we could have been an affiliate on our own. The only problem is that it is so hard to compete with Jason. So his bonuses just blow my mind. And the tool sets, they're not just like bonuses that are like, oh, that's going to be nice. These are bonuses that make your experience so much better and much more effective. So enough gushing about Jason and Wilson.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
they're great guys to work with, and they've given us an opportunity here to present this and to basically help out with this.
And again, guys, I'm going to encourage all of you. Most of you are watching this on the event page, but I'm going to be watching all of the comments on the event page and the watch page. We're not going to end this thing until all of your questions are answered. We are very confident that by the time we get finished with the presentation, all of your questions will be answered. But again, if you don't feel like we went into enough detail or anything like that, we will go through everything so that you are fully informed and be as excited as we are to get moving forward. So as I go through those, we're going to go ahead and just keep moving forward. And again, I just want to encourage you, throw the comments in and throw the questions in, and we will address them as we go, or as we move forward.
Cool. Yeah, comments. Like I said, we're going to keep an eye on those. I am really excited about this, and so since I was kind of the new guy, for me to digest and to learn this, the best way is to present it. And so Zane's given me the opportunity to basically kind of steer this conversation. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's get down to the meat and potatoes of this and actually figure out what this thing will do for you and how it's going to change your life. For starters, like I said, the thing that I heard that really like resonated with me, that this is Amazon. You're working with Amazon. So we're not trying to like set up something that, was finding shortcuts or workarounds or anything like that. This is 100% legitimate. Um, we had a commenter from Rhode Island mention that Amazon doesn't allow you to be an affiliate in Rhode Island. I doesn't make any sense to me. But I wanted to say first and foremost, this is not an affiliate program. You're not signing up to be an affiliate with Amazon. You are actually signing up to be a seller. You basically have your own store, your own company, your own brand, and you're selling on Amazon. There's no affiliation or affiliate program with this. So Amazon, just to throw out a little fact there, makes $6 billion in revenue per month. Not for the year, for the month. Um, yeah, I'm sure you might want just a little slice of that. Just maybe 0.01% of that would be nice. Um, for the whole year of 2014, they're projecting that they probably will go over $100 billion for the year. Once again, having just a little tiny slice of that, no matter how minuscule that would be
Right?
amazing to have. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's chump change. But yeah, so this is a great company to be involved with. And so basically, we this program is teaching us how to basically take advantage of or how to be partners with Amazon in selling products. So Zane, why don't you explain a little bit about the private labeling side of things?
Yeah, sure thing. Let me just find the best possible way to explain it. Right?
Yes.
Because we've got there's an awesome way that has been set up. Um, and now of course now I can't find it, right? So anyway, back, right? So there's some crucial points when it comes to private labeling, right? And when it comes to private labeling, it's all about finding a product that you want to sell. This isn't to be confused with what a lot of people assume as reselling someone else's product, like taking a big brand and saying, "Hey, I'm going to sell this," because then you're just competing with that big brand, and you don't want to do it. So private labeling is just finding something that you wouldn't expect, like I don't know, like these cups, right? There's numerous examples that we'll be touching on that show you, but they're just these almost innocuous items that you don't think about, but you go, you know what, I did buy that, and it probably didn't take a whole lot of effort to put together for like a manufacturer, and that's really the main focus of the private labeling. Does that
Yeah.
make sense, Van? Did that?
No, and that was like one of my first questions because in internet marketing and other circles, you hear the term PLR. It's thrown around as like a very common term, and I was like, PLR, what's? And then Zane's like, well, it's private labeling rights, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't help me either. What's private labeling mean? And so it basically means that you get to put your label, your brand on a generic product out there. So like when you go to Walmart, you see Western Value or Western Family, or you see Kirkland at Costco, and Sam Clubs has their own version. These are all products that some other company makes generically, and bigger companies just slap their name on it. In fact, you think about it, celebrities for starters. You see a celebrity always pushing a product. What does a celebrity know about products? I mean, they're
Correct.
actors, really. So, but pretty much somebody has come up to them and says, "Hey, I got this great idea. I would like to use your image and your name, and I'm going to slap a label on a generic piece of whatever, and I'm going to sell it because I have your name." And so that's how celebrities get into it. They just basically are doing private labeling. It's nothing more complicated than that. So the idea with private labeling is to basically take your private label product and sell it on Amazon. That is literally the big picture of this whole course. The beauty of what the system does, though, is it teaches you how to take advantage of the system that Amazon has in place, how to use all the rules to your advantage. We're not breaking any rules. We're not trying to make anybody mad or get kicked out. This is all completely by the book. So um, the thing that we actually like the most about this, well, I was trying to say the most because there's so many things that we like about this, is Amazon realizes that, hey, we've got all these people that want to sell stuff. And what's the hardest part about selling stuff? Lots of times it's just getting it packaged, delivered, storing. I mean, if you had 1,000 units of whatever, most people don't have that kind of room in their house to store this stuff. You'd have to get a storage unit, a warehouse, depends on how big you get. Amazon takes care of all of that. It's called FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, and it literally is what it says it is. They fulfill your order from beginning to end. So once you find your product and your manufacturer, you literally just tell your manufacturer, hey, I want you to ship it to Amazon. And Amazon will say, okay, these are the warehouses, because they have them all over the United States, these warehouses, to make shipping more quicker and more convenient. So
Right. And real quick, Van, we have a question from David Patrick Green. I don't think he was here a little bit earlier, but he points out, he says, weird, I'm listening to Jason Fladlin at the same time as you. I thought you worked together. I'm confused. So again, just to touch on that point again really quick, we're diversifying again. Jason was really excited to see our excitement, and so he said, yeah, I want you to help us. So Van, do you want to touch on that a little bit more? Because you explained it really well.
yeah, I mean, as I said, we're selling on behalf of Jason. Basically, he has a large audience. He has a lot of people that like the way he presents, and Zane has a large following that likes the way he presents as well. We have different flavors and different styles, and so basically, it's a strategy to tackle as many fronts as possible. And
Hmm.
so, if you really want to go through Jason and you love the way he does things, then by all means, go for it. If you like Zane and you like the way he handles his customer support and his presentation, then we ask you that you buy through us. Jason is still getting commission. If you buy through us, he still gets a good chunk. He's not letting us do this without any
Right. Yeah.
financial
Yeah.
benefit to himself. So
Yeah.
um, he does get his portion. And in fact, I believe Jason has a couple of different affiliates that are working with him in the same position that we're doing. So
Because
um,
he's smart.
yeah, and so you'll find that we're using a lot of the information that Jason's given us, because he's good at putting it together. And so, like I said, we had a format all ready to go, and we Jason sent us his PDF, and I was like, oh, these are things we want to bring up. So
Exactly. Yeah.
so
Yeah. So let us know, David, if that answers your question, because we addressed it earlier, but again, people can get confused. So thank you for saying that.
yeah, so
Back to fulfillment by Amazon, right?
fulfillment by Amazon. So basically, you ship once to Amazon, they generate and fulfill your order, and then Prime members get free shipping, which is a pretty nice perk. And then on top of that, if your product's actually over $35, there's free shipping anyways. So it's a pretty good deal. I mean, people oftentimes, if they don't have to worry about shipping, are more likely to buy.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people have a concern because Amazon is a U.S. based business, and so one of their concerns is like, well, I might be in the Philippines or in India or Japan or some other country where I don't know quite how to interact. There is a service called Payoneer, and this basically will take care of helping convert your currency. Basically, it's kind of like the PayPal for overseas.
Mhm.
So if you live in another country and stuff like that, it's not a problem. There's financial services, and Amazon is a global company. They're based in the U.S., but if you look on a map, I think they basically have warehouses all over the world to make shipping as easy and convenient as possible. So,
Yeah.
um,
So
you want to
so
add anything to
yeah.
that?
Well, really, one of the things here. Let me pull off the screen share. Hello again. I'm the guy behind the scenes. But so with just the simple process of how it all works, you don't have to think about any of it. I mean, that's actually a point that you brought up, Van. You're like, listen, I already got kids up to here and a home-based business and all these different things. I don't want to have to worry about the inventory at all.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, I,
and
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I'm juggling like 10 different chainsaws half the time, and you can't drop any of them. So I mean, like I said, I fell in love with the idea of selling products, but then I'm like, oh man, the logistics of trying to sell this stuff sounds like a nightmare.
Right, right. Now, something a little bit more specific to shipping and fulfillment. We do have another question from Lance that I'm going to answer really quick
Hmm.
because we're right here in it, and he's asking about like the reliability of say maybe manufacturers overseas. Like how can you make sure that you can rely on them? First of all, you don't have to stick with overseas. Like there are benefits to it, but there are some products that just make more sense to source in the United States and others overseas. But you can, in fact, our first product is U.S. based, and we didn't have any issues with it. But one of the great things about this whole thing is the group that I mentioned that Jason Fladlin put together, and we're all talking and connecting with each other and making sure, like making sure that no one else runs into any issues. Like I personally haven't run into any issues with our sourcing our products, and neither has many of the other people out there. But if there were ever one of those unreliable sources, I promise you, somebody in the groups would be like, "Hey, those guys, they're bad. Don't ever use them again," and no
Yeah.
one will ever use them.
Well, in
It's the
fact, I
benefit of
think
the group.
one of the nice things that we found with our manufacturers, they have experience with Amazon. In
Hmm.
fact, they were kind of giving us some pointers like, hey, if you package your boxes like this, it's easier for Amazon to deal with. Or, basically they kind of helped us out a little bit by having experience. And more companies in the U.S. will have that. I think by the time everything was said and done, we were buying our product for about $7 a bottle,
Yeah.
and that's including the shipping to Amazon. And then I think basically we're selling it between $20 and $25, just depending on the discounts we do. So we get plenty of our 50% markup, and in fact, well over that. And it's a U.S. based company, so you don't have to find a supplier outside the United States to be competitive. And
Yeah.
so now, with that said, um, it's very well known that getting suppliers overseas actually even reduces your costs even more so. So um, I believe Jason has a bonus that we'll talk about. It's his China concierge, where if you did want to try to explore that option, it's an option that is actually available because,
Right.
like I said, you can make more money by keeping your costs low. But the thing you get about a U.S. company is dependability. You get faster shipping, and so for getting off the ground and getting things started quickly and kind of testing the waters, uh, U.S. companies are actually kind of a good way to go. You can still save or make quite a bit of money going that route. Uh, Zane and I are looking possibly in the future of checking out overseas as well once we get better acclimated to the system and having basically getting the numbers that we want to see before we try that out. So,
Right. Right.
but
So
good question.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Lance, let us know if that answered your question, and we can, of course, circle back around to it because we will be touching on it more throughout the presentation. So, speaking of which, Van, let's go ahead and move on to the next part. Let me get that together and ready. There we go.
Okay, so um, one of the stories that we have is a guy named Raul. Now, we have all these different people, these kind of rock stars in the community that have made like 85,000, $100,000 in 1 month. And those guys are great. Those guys are kind of like the superstars and stuff like that. But when you're first starting out, you kind of want to know, what about the guy who's just like me, the everyday Joe? This guy, Raul, he's a father of four. He works as a nurse in a critical care unit. This isn't a guy who's involved in internet marketing. He's not some like brilliant genius when it comes to like product development and stuff like that. He's just an average guy. In fact, he's still working on his bachelor's degree. He volunteers at his church, and just like most of us, his money situation is pretty tight. And so basically, this guy is one of our prime examples of somebody who's just like us, who's using this system to get himself financially ahead, and it's working. It's brilliant. And so he has one of the most certain approaches to success I've ever seen. And so we're going to talk about basically the same system that Raul's used to to get that same success, to hopefully change your situation to be something that, you know what, I'm not freaking out over money anymore. I'm not panicking because it's the end of the month and I've got $200 left over for the family. This is a system that's going to basically hopefully give you that kind of financial freedom. So, how do we get success on Amazon? That's the first question. That success comes in a couple different steps. Zane, did you have something to say? I thought I heard you about jump in.
No, I was well, I was going to go in and chime in because this is one of the things that like this is the big picture plan. This is where I really get excited myself because that's just how my brain works. I want to see the big picture before I start talking about all the details. So when you say, hey Zane, if you want to be successful on Amazon, here are the 4 things that you need to do. I go, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. So
Yeah.
really these are like the main components, right? And like the number one, it's discovering the right product. It's similar to, like, say, real estate. You know, when they say you don't make your money when you sell the house, you make your money when you buy the house,
Oh yeah,
because you're making the right financial decision, the best one for you.
right. No, that's a very good point. And so we're going to go over these points, and we're going to kind of give you that insight to how to basically get your product to be successful on Amazon and in connection making you successful.
Right.
The first thing is you got to discover the right product. I mean, like we were saying, you kind of get in this weird mindset where you start looking at like, hey, there's a water bottle, I could sell that. There's a box of pen, there's an iron, there's a lamp. I mean, you start just going nuts with all the different possibilities out there. And so that really starts putting this weird pressure on you to start discovering the right product because, like I said, you have almost infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
So that's the first problem. Like, how do I figure out what product do I sell? Um, Amazon publishes the top 100 bestsellers in several categories. And so right there, you have a breakdown of saying, oh, okay, here's a list of all these different things.
And yeah, and you can see them. They're right there on the site. Like, I mean, it's something that you don't really notice until until you see a presentation like ours, and you start going, wait a second, so that's how they do it. So yeah, this is a big sign saying, hey, check this out. These are the most popular items on Amazon, which means that people are actively searching for them and they are actively buying them. So right there, we've made a very specific determination of, like, okay, so let's not worry about anything else except for these Amazon best sellers.
yeah, definitely. And those are pretty broad categories, so they still cover quite a lot of stuff. Um,
Right.
so basically, you need to find your product, and you find it based on how well it's doing in Amazon. And so you start looking for how your competition is doing, or basically the products that you think are doing well. You look for the top 100. Zane, do you have anything to add to that? I mean, expound on that a little bit.
Well, really, with this, as I'm seeing it, like, I just wanted to show you just a quick example of some of the things that we're talking about. It's the again, we don't want to compete with any of these big brands because they've got huge budgets behind them, and they've been doing it so long that you can just say, oh, okay, diapers, I want Pampers, right? There's no, like, brand X. I mean, there is, but again, we're looking for people who want to sit down and go, this is what I want, and they type in the search, like, anti-frizz shampoo, right? Shampoo is one of those products that are going to be in the top 100 because people buy it all the time, and they don't think about it, which is it's a high number of sales that happen all the time. So we're looking for, again, very simple, basic things like shampoo, heck, even soap, any kind of health and beauty. I'll tell you guys right now is phenomenally huge.
Yeah,
So
very
you're
popular.
thinking in non-perishable consumables, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, and not only that, but I mean, I guess another example that we threw out there earlier was, if you wanted to do smartphones for some odd reason, you're competing with Apple and Android. It's just like, it might not be the product you want to pick. But there are so many other products out there that have no name brand recognition that
Exactly.
those are the kind of the areas that you start with. And so, um, one of the coolest parts about this, because like I said, you start becoming overwhelmed with how many possibilities there are out there. You start realizing, how do I figure out how to reduce the possibilities? I need to get down to the nitty gritty. Um, this is one of the tools that Jason and Wilson came up with, was this matrix that helps you narrow down your options. And they base it off a couple of different qualifiers. One base is how they rank. It has to be between 700 to 1100. So the logic behind that is that you have a product that is ranked not like 185,000 on Amazon. It's ranked in the hundreds. And so by looking at that and seeing those kind of numbers, you go, okay, this is a product that is still popular, and maybe with a little help, I can make it really popular. And so you're kind of looking for those things that are kind of fall in that range of the 700 to 1100 ranking on Amazon. And we're not
Right.
talking like it's number two in all the subcategories. We're talking the ranking in the major categories that Amazon has on there.
Right.
So
So things like health and beauty, kitchen and bath, those kinds of things. Again, when you go to Walmart, the things that you buy, like, once or twice a month because you use them, so often,
yeah,
right? And when Van talks about the seller rank, there's a very specific system that Amazon follows and says, okay, well, because this product sells more than this product, this one is just going to be higher in the search results when it comes to Amazon, because that's all Amazon cares about. Like there's a big difference between Amazon and Google. Google, you want the most relevant information, right? You're not thinking about always buying a product when you search something in Google. So there's all these factors that you have to, try and get a higher placement on the first page of Google, and that's really frustrating. But with Amazon, Amazon doesn't care about whether or not the results seemed relevant to you, and honestly, neither do you. By the time Amazon is so well known that you know and I know that when you land on Amazon and you search for a product, you want to buy something, or else you wouldn't be on Amazon. If you wanted to learn something, you'd be on Google. So when it comes right down to it, Amazon ranks all of these listings when someone searches for cutting boards. The cutting board that sells the most is the one that's going to be in the #1 position. So when we talk about ranking, that's what Van means, is that you're talking about things that people are searching for quite often, and that's what you want to find products to source. You don't want to source, like, the part of your Cadillac Eldorado that no one ever uses, right? There's not going to be enough search volume for it. So you want to find things, again, that are seemingly innocuous, like you wouldn't think to, like, want to sell it, but then you go, well, wait a second, that's something that people buy a lot of. So that's how the ranking sort of shakes out for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Amazon ranking.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, though, just to kind of wrap up this point about discovering your product, is Jason and Wilson have this matrix that allows you to go through and find the right product, and they even will help you find it themselves. That's one of the things that they offer, is that they're going to help you figure out how to find a hot item if you're just really, really struggling with this issue. But like I said, the matrix has a huge list of these different products, and that these are all products that they consider to be vetted and well qualified to be something that you can position into a really good ranking by following the system. So that's discovering the right product. One of the things I want to bring up really quick, kind of in reference to our friend Raul, it's the fact that you don't have to just focus on one product. Our buddy Raul, he sells 3 different products at the same time, and he gets maybe about 5 sales a day, which, that's good. But what it is that over time, well, not over time, but basically all those, those 3 different areas, basically this is what he's making per month per product. So, just rough math there, it's probably about $7,500 a month with those 3 different things. 5 units, he's getting 50% margin, and this is what he's bringing home. So it's something that you don't have to put all your heart and soul into one product and hope, cross your fingers that one product is the thing that takes off. You can test 3, 4, 10 different products, and they don't have to be making $10,000, $100,000, $50,000 a month. That'd be great if all of them do that, but you can gradually move them all up and be really building it up quickly by kind of expanding into multiple products at the same time. All right, so we got the discover the right product. Now we're going to move on to locating the right private labeler. This is also a very important part of your process, because as you get into you have your product and you're in love with them. Now you go online, you start looking. We came across this a couple of times as, man, we cannot find anybody who will do this, and that kind of changed our direction a little bit. And it depends on how obscure your product is. We find that cleaning supplies, health and beauty, pet supplies, a lot of those, broader things, there are actually, in supplements even, there are tons of suppliers for that. But if you find something that's really, really obscure and you're like, this is my thing, this is going to be it, and you find out, oh, there's no suppliers that I can find really easily. But you can, and this is one of the things we found, is that you kind of have to dig deep around the internet to find a good supplier. Or sometimes if it's a common one, they're right there at the top as well. We've found some pretty easy ones just doing some basic searching. But if it's a product you really love and it's kind of obscure, you might have to get some really good searching skills going on there.
But specific to, okay, where do you find the private labeler? We got this screenshot here, and you're basically, here's what you're looking at. You're looking for anything, whatever the product that you're thinking of, plus the word private label or supplier or wholesale. Right, so I mean, these are keywords that you're going to use, because I mean, it's really this simple. Like, you guys could, I mean, you don't want to leave right now, but if you wanted to, you could go in and start searching for these. But I will tell you, you want to make sure that you're prepared to go deep, right? Like you prepare to go deep. You're going to be going like probably sometimes 10, 20 pages deep. I know most people don't want to go past like page 2 or 3 when it comes to Google, but you're doing some deep research. So don't get discouraged, I guess, is the main I want to emphasize that if you start searching for a product, like, hey, I could totally source this product, I'm really excited, and you get to page 3 or 4 and you don't see any private labelers or merchants or any indications that there's something that a product you could source, don't give up. Keep going, because these guys aren't marketers. They're terrible marketers. They don't know how to be found on Google, so they just rely on us to be smart enough to find them. All right, so just prepare to go deep. Is all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
and just to add something to this, in September, Zane and I are actually going to be going down to Vegas, where there is a big PLR event. These are private label companies that are getting together, and they're going to do a big old convention to basically sell to buyers. And so if you were like, you know what, I would love to meet these people, and I would love to just get ideas for products and stuff like that. It's in fact, I don't know the details yet. We just kind of saw it briefly before we got in. It's like, hey, put
It's
that
in
on the
Vegas,
calendar. Yeah,
right?
we're road trip.
Yeah.
So we're going to basically be taking a trip down there, and hey, if you guys want to contact us and just kind of hang out, go get lunch while we're down there, that's we're open to that as well.
Yeah.
We're not hosting anything or we're not setting anything up, but we are going to go down there, so it'd be cool to kind of meet up with other people that are interested in that.
Yeah, and actually, one thing I do want to mention really quick, because like we're saying, hey, we're going to be checking out this private label wholesaler convention in Vegas. We are very actively involved in this, and we're very excited about it. Not just what ASM is teaching, but to go beyond that and see what else we can do. I mean, the group that we're a part of is just so involved with this that you just can't help but get sort of swept up in it. So what I would like to do is I would like to have any of you who decide to invest contact me on Google Plus, because I'm a big Google Plus guy, and I want to put everybody who's going to be working directly with us in its own little private circle. I mean, not to the level that Jason's doing, but just so that, hey, here's a quick YouTube video I wanted to broadcast specifically to the guys that connected with us and invested through our link, because we're going to be working together. I mean, it's not just like, hey, thanks, see you guys. It's me and Van are going to be here within a group within a group within a group, right? It's the deep inception, right? But still, connect with me. I want to be a part of your success and help you as much as I can. So connect with me on Google Plus, and we'll continue on from here. So just taking a slight break. Also, Chris Vogelman, thanks for being here. I know you had to bounce, but you've also been answering a lot of questions, so thanks so much when you watch the replay. He's stuck at the Apple Store or something like that. So thanks again, Chris. So
Awesome.
upward and onward.
All right.
I'm just looking at some of these questions, but it looks like you're ready to keep moving forward there, brother.
Yes, I am actually.
Okay.
So the next thing is okay. So we talked about private labelers, uh, and getting your product out there. And so the next thing you do is to find out how much. Shoot, sorry, kind of got lost in my notes here a little bit.
It happens. Now I'm doing the same part. So well, here's something that I wanted to point out. Let's pull up the fancy screen share here. Right. So again, just to kind of bring us back on track. I mean, once you find a supplier, then all you need to do is tell the supplier, don't ship it to me, because I mean, that's the first thing that we're like, okay, what's the address that you want us to ship it to? You say, no, 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 you don't ship it to me. Ship it to Fulfillment by Amazon, and Fulfillment by Amazon will send you the shipping label that they want you to send it to. So it's really just a matter. I mean, that it's pretty much exactly how it happened with us. Amazon said, here's the shipping label, and they sent us a PDF, and then we turned around and went, that's nice. And then we forwarded it to our manufacturer and said, this is where you need to ship it. And that was it. Like totally hands off, no problems, no issues. And we didn't even have to think about it. So again, once you find the supplier, you can have them ship directly to Amazon, and then Fulfillment by Amazon takes care of the rest. And then it's just up to you to manage and maintain reviews and things like that. Because as we said, that is pretty important.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I want to do is just backtrack a little bit under the finding the right product, because
Okay.
we were talking about demand, and you go, oh, okay, great, this is a great demand, and I think we kind of backtrack a little bit, because Once you find a demand, then you're gonna have to find a supplier. So if you're like, okay, now I got a supplier, then once you find your supplier and you find out how much your product's going to cost, then you got to figure out your profit potential. Once you find out your profit potential, then you can move on to saying, yeah, this is going to work or this is not going to work. And your profit potential is going to be based on a couple of different things. First of all, is your supplier. Like I said, Zane and I think our supplier ended up being about $5.50 per bottle.
Right.
Um, and
And
then
then yeah, and then you got to factor in Amazon's cut.
yeah, so Amazon gets their cut. Do you have that screenshot up?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah. So they have a pick and pack. So it's $1.02 per unit. Uh, then you got weight. So it's roughly about 75 cents a pound. So that's something you have to take in consideration. If I'm selling, car batteries, that might be a little expensive. But if you're selling something like I'm selling like styrofoam padding, oh, okay, that's gonna be really easy to ship.
Yeah.
And then they have a referral fee, which is about 15% of your price. So if it's marked up to like $45, then you're going to probably pay $9 or $10 overall um, in Amazon fees. But if it's like something a lot cheaper, you might be paying like $2, or $1.50. Just it depends on the pricing. So Amazon has their referral fee, which is it scales with the price of your product. So
Right, right, and
um,
this is why it's also I believe it's important to keep in mind that you don't fall in love with the product. That's actually one of the first things that people run into is they run into an issue with like, oh, this is the best product in the world and I love it and my family will love it, my kids will love it, and like this will pay for college for the next 19 years of all my kids. But then when you run into an issue of like, okay, well the profit margins don't work, you can't make as much money, and so you're just putting more stress and issues on you, when you should just be saying, okay, well that is nice, but the numbers aren't working, because again guys, we're here to make money, not to have the perfect product, right? So we have to fall in love with the numbers, not the product.
yeah, very good point. So we're also going to show you kind of an example of a product and what happened, when we searched for it. And it's a yoga mat. It sells, we could probably sell it for $27 at a 50% margin, and then the total cost per unit has to be less than $13.61. So we go in and we see our retail price. We subtract the Amazon fees, the pick and pack, weight and handling. Total Amazon fees are going to be about $6.83 for this one product. Then you got to figure out, I think it's the next slide, this is going to be the cost of what your product's going to be. So your private label cost is $7.14. Amazon fees are $6. So overall, $13.80. That's what you're going to be
Yeah,
making. So
a
you're like,
healthy
oh,
profit
oh,
margin.
yeah, 50%, that's pretty dang good. So that's where you can kind of play with the numbers a little bit. You might be higher than 50%. Maybe your costs actually eat up a little more of your profit margin, but this is where you got to use your judgment to decide, okay, maybe I'm only making 45% or 47%, or maybe it's 42. You can make the call on
Right.
whether it's worth doing it
Yeah.
or not.
But see, when you look at this, here's the other part of it. Okay, so the numbers work, right?
Hmm.
But when it comes down to the manufacturer, right, we've got $7.14 per unit, and 100 unit. This MOQ means minimum order quantity. It's something that they go over in greater detail in the course, but the any private labeler that you come in contact with, they should be willing to have these lower minimum order quantities, like 100 or 50 or sometimes even 10. Like there's a couple of places that I investigated where it was seriously like 40. Actually, I'll tell you, I was thinking of sourcing hot sauce. Why not? It's a consumable item. People use it all the time, non-perishable. It seemed to fit, and again, just the numbers didn't work for that particular item. But it was going to cost like 49 cents a bottle, and I was able to get it for like, and actually they had no minimum order quantities. Some companies do, some companies don't. I could have bought just like 50 of them, and like for like $300 been able to test it, right? So the example here was $700 14 cents in inventory just to get started. And I mean, you've seen some of the very impressive numbers that we're talking about, what you can earn. So like this is a is a as Van put it so eloquently, a drop in the bucket compared to what you can be making with this, and it's very true. But at the same time, again, I've looked at things where it was even less than $700. I was talking about like $300 to test it and actually make my money back, right? So
Oh yeah.
again, just to put it into perspective for you.
Yeah, I mean, and when you start seeing people say, "Yeah, I made $5,000 this month," that product alone, you're going to be doubling that investment. So, I mean, at the end of the month, you should have $1,400 if you sold out. In fact, I think we bought 100 and it's like a weird number. It's like 122 units of
101.
101,
Yeah.
and basically Amazon said, "Hey, thumbs up. That's the right amount."
Yeah,
So
they were impressed with our order.
yeah, they're like, "Good job." So it's a good number to start with is 100 units of whatever you're getting into, and like I said, there's some people who are like, it's gonna be kind of hard to get. Here's a conversation between Jason and Raul, where basically Raul's saying, "Yeah, I kind of struggling in the beginning." He says, "Yeah, to be honest, I was ready a lot sooner. In fact, my goal uh, was to make the Christmas rush. I just didn't have the funds, and that's what held me back." Um, and then the next page, I think the conversation goes on.
Right.
And so he says, I was ready. I just didn't have the money to make my first. We're not talking a lot of money. My first purchase from my supplier cost me just under $700. So it wasn't huge, but it was around Christmas, so things were a little tight. Once I got past Christmas, I was ready. I just picked one. The truth is, I could have been up and running in 6 weeks, but because of those reasons, it took me a little longer. I'm a real guy. I've got real bills, and I've got real restraints, so it took me a little bit. And that's a real honest story about a lot of our situations. But when you start thinking, holy cow, I might have wasted 6 months, and those 6 months I could have been bringing in $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and you start thinking, holy crap, $700 to get started. I kind of just just threw away a bunch of money by not taking any action. So the profit potential, that's the next thing you got to look at as far as, is this thing going to work for me? Is this the product that I need to have? Um,
Right. Yeah, I mean profit potential. I mean we went through that. We realized, okay, so we need like the best of the best, right? We need the top 100. So we got that part taken care of. We found the most in demand products. Again, we don't want to compete with big brands. We don't want to deal with anything else. Just the demand of the very simple items that we rely on every day that we just don't think about, which makes it again such an awesome opportunity. The profit potential. Don't fall in love with the product. Fall in love with the numbers. Fall in love with, holy cow, look at this awesome 50% profit margin and how many of my 5 kids I can actually put through college, right? So, but the next point that comes up is competition, right? We need to figure out how are we going to deal with the competition, and it's not really as hard as that. Um, we're actually talking about 2 measures, right? We already talked about one, which is the no name brand, no dominating brands, right? The things that you think of, Apple, Mercedes. I don't know. Help me out here, Van.
Huggies, Pampers,
Yeah,
basically
perfect.
any kind of brand name that, I mean, you think of a product, and if a brand name pops in there right off the bat, it might not be it. But also don't pick something that you're really into. If you're really into hiking and camping and stuff like that, well, you could sell camping equipment, but you might be familiar with brands that the general public doesn't really understand. So um, you got to think, okay, does the general public recognize this as a common brand?
Right. So the next thing is that so you take yourself out of looking at like the uh, the brand names, and now we move into the actual listings themselves. Because I mean, again, when you think about it, we're talking about impulse items. Like if you're at the store and you're pushing your shopping cart around, and then you see, oh, you know what, I need shampoo. It's right there on the shelf. You just reach up and grab it. You don't even think about it because it's an impulse item. I just need it. I'm not going to think about it. Maybe I'll look at like the 4 that are sitting next to each other and make a decision based on that.
Of course, you're
Um,
also a guy, Zane. That's how you shop for shampoo.
yeah, yeah.
Crap, make me smell good.
Yeah, I totally admit that I know nothing about shampoo, but I could sell a product that was shampoo and still not know anything about it and still make money, right?
Yeah,
So the point here though is that when it comes down to it, we're talking about the positioning and the reviews. We already touched on the importance of reviews. That's where I believe, and Van back me up if correct me if I'm wrong, but that's where I think the legwork comes in, is the getting, once the product is up, and then getting the reviews. Again, where the stage that we're at, because if people don't see reviews, then they just don't buy. So it's
No,
important to get it up and out and get some reviews. So, because here's the thing. Let me turn off the screen share and talk to you. So you need images, you need reviews, and you need an optimized listing. We can touch on a little bit of the optimization in just a second, but let's talk about the first two things. The image, right? You saw the image before. In fact, I can pull it up again because that's just that cool. All right, so the again, very similar to the mindset that people will be taking, like at a supermarket, right? They have the same exact mindset. They're going to look at what it looks like. Okay, what do the images look like? So it's very important for you to have images that look good, clear, crisp, and basically give people an idea of what the product looks like. This is going to be the same as seeing it on a shelf. Huge decision on whether or not they will click on your listing or not, right? The second thing is the reviews. They want to make sure that they see 4 and 5 stars, and they see that somebody else has bought. Nobody wants to be the first person who's bought and the first person to review, because that's scary and risky. So it's important to have those reviews, and we will touch on how to get those reviews, how we've been doing it, and just the totally awesome super uber way that Jason and Will are doing it, where you don't have to put a lot of effort into it. Unfortunately, like, they just started it, so we didn't get the benefit of that, but we'll be getting the benefit soon enough.
yeah, we got
Um,
signed up on it.
yeah, well, yeah, we sure did. So those are the two major components, and I'm sure you guys can understand. Like, well, yeah, of course, people should be able to see the image and get a good feeling of, like, okay, this seems like a good product, as well as reviews. Makes sense. Now, the third thing is the optimization. This is where some benefits of having any kind of knowledge in internet marketing helps. But if not, it's a very simple concept. It's okay, let me think about what people are searching for when it comes to shampoo, right? You saw in the picture it said anti-frizz shampoo.
Actually, saying
Yeah,
before we jump into that,
yeah.
I just want to point out that the step one and the step two are kind of, there's a back and forth that kind of goes on there. So you discover the right product, then you got to find a manufacturer, you find out what the pricing is, then you go back to your product, figure out the
Yeah,
profit margin. Then if you like the profit margin, then you go back to your private labeler and you basically get it up and going. Um, I, there's a slide I wanted to pull up really quick. It's page 70. This
okay.
is just a good example of private labeling in action.
Yeah,
These products are all the same. It's like you look on the ingredients and you're going to see that they're all the exact same ingredients. These are 4 different people, 4 different companies decide, hey, I like the product, I think it will sell, I'm going to put it on Amazon, slap a label on it, and call it mine. As long as you have a label and a barcode, that thing is yours. Your company's making this, and you get the credit for it. So that's kind of, another uh, point to make about how private labeling kind of works. So now that you've kind of gone back and forth about the different, you know, finding your product and finding your private label, now we're going to go into the optimization of getting your listing ranked well enough so that eventually you're going to put in this work to get it ranked, and then you can literally kind of sit back and watch the sales come in, because once it's ranked, that's what people like. You think about how often do you go past page 3, 4, 5, or 6 on Amazon or Google or any kind of search? Very rare. I mean, you really have to want something bad enough that you're going to just keep searching for that great deal. But most time, like Zane said, it's an impulse buy. You're going to buy what's on page 1 or 2, maybe 3 if you're really digging. But for the most part, you need to get that ranking. You got to get page 1 or 2 in order to get to that point where your sales are going to really just be off on their own, and you can kind of just be the manager of the
right.
reviews, and that's it.
Yeah, no. And thank you for saying that, Van, because it helped me kind of get back on track. So we've got these 3 points here, right? As the discovering the right product, locating the right private labeler, and now moving on into the optimizing the product listing. Now there's something that has come up that I think is a good point to address. Tatiana Walker, she's concerned about, okay, well, these are, you're reaching out to a supplier who's supplying these products, and then you're you're reselling them on Amazon, meaning that you're also unknown and you also don't know the labeler. So the concern comes up is, well, what about the quality? How do we know? I can tell you right now, Tatiana, a lot of the products that you see, again, like you saw that slide, there was a bunch of the same thing. In fact, there's a lot of products, I kid you not, a lot of products that are the same exact ingredients in the big brands as the brands that you would find. Like we've connected with suppliers, and one of their pitches is that, oh yeah, see, these name brand products are actually buying from us and putting their brand on it. So what it comes down to is the majority of the time you're buying the same stuff with just a different label. Like the quality is the same as anything else of a similar price. The other benefit, the other point that I want to address here, though, is we're talking specific with Amazon. So yeah, nobody wants to buy a crappy product. Nobody does. But that's why the reviews are so important. Because again, like me, you, everybody can agree that when you're shopping on Amazon, what's the first thing that you look at when you look at a listing?
Yeah, reviews. I mean,
Exactly.
it's there. Also, on the subject of quality, um, one of the really nice things that I appreciated from Jason and Will was the fact that we got a spreadsheet of the kind of questions that you're going to want to ask your private label company, your manufacturer. And one of those questions is, can you ship me a sample? Can I see this firsthand what this
Yeah.
is going to be like? And so you can test it out for yourself. You're like, hey, this is actually pretty good. Or you might get it and it's like, oh man, this thing's garbage. I don't want to sell this. Because yeah, you are putting your name behind it. And so you do want to have confidence that your product is going to sell, because the easiest thing to sell is something that you believe in, which is why Zane and I are here. We believe in doing this. This thing is something that does work. So yeah, you can test the quality, and like I say, if you get a couple different samples, you can even do a test with the people in your circles, friends, families, acquaintances. Just say, hey, can you try this out? Let me know what you
Yeah.
think. If you want to go into that depth, um, or like I said, you're just testing the waters at this point. You're not going to get a gigantic order of like over 1,000 products. You can get it out there with just 50 and just kind of test it out, or 100, and kind of see, yeah, this is a good product that people are replying pretty honestly and they're giving me good reviews, so I'm going to keep buying this product. So the
Yeah.
first round of orders will be your test.
Yeah, no, no, but that's very, very well said. So, let us know if that addressed your question, but we're going to go ahead and move on into the optimizing the product listings, and it's very simply, we touched on it before, but to go over it again, images. I talked about how important images are. Images, the title, the bullet points, the product description, and the reviews. So that's like kind of the overhead thing. So going into the actual images. Again, this point is meant to show you that, okay, you need to give somebody a feeling that they're going to be able to see the product without actually seeing it. So having things where there's multiple images, multiple directions, kind of thing. There's you could spend a whole lot of time lining up all these like a perfect picture to like a studio for photography. But what we actually found out is a cool, quick shortcut to actually have a 3D rendered image, so you have all the perfect lighting exactly how you want, and then you don't have to worry about spending all this time. You can get up and running. It was one of the first points that Jason brought up to me. He's like, you got to spend all this time taking pictures, right? And of course I fell right into it. Yeah, right. And he's like, no, you're wrong. You can just do a 3D rendered image. And I was like, wow, that's actually a really good point.
But how
Um,
many people know a good guy that does 3D rendering?
Right. Well, there's Van.
There's
but,
me.
but yeah. Before I throw Van under the bus, that's actually one of the bonuses that Jason offers, that we'll touch on later, is that that he will pay $300 to an awesome company called 99 Designs, and we can get to that slide in a
Yeah.
minute. But
My point
if
is
your
that
gets are
when I
ready.
first thought about images, I was like, oh man, photographer, or I have to do it, or whatever. There are different sources. There's
Mhm.
Fiverr, there's Odesk, there's 99 Designs. They all have different price points for the type of image that you want to get, whether it's 3D or photographed or whatever. Um, but the point being is that you're not going to be an expert in every single facet of this. And so they have the sources and the referrals of different places that can get you these things and help you get moving forward. So there's no roadblocks whatsoever.
Right, right, and so it's again this main image, the first image you upload. It's one of the most important because that's the first thing that people see, and you just want to make sure that again it's an example of okay, I want to grab this, right? This main image also shows up if you want to do any kind of paid advertising in Amazon, which actually without touching on it too much, it's strongly recommended. It's been very effective for anybody that we've ever talked to or come in contact with that's selling products on Amazon. They're like, yeah, you want people to buy your product. The advertising is great. It's not required, but it is helpful, and it's also again, it's the same image that shows up. Your main image also shows up in the advertising, so that main image is important, especially when people are searching for products, right? So these main images, you want to have something like this closer to something more like this. You can see the front, you can see the back, all those different kinds of things that makes it a good image, which is why
Yeah,
we're talking about 3D image. But we can touch on that again a little bit later when we dive into the bonuses and stuff.
yeah, definitely.
So,
So we got images. The next thing you have to do is you have to optimize your title. Zane, you're good at that, so I'm going to let you talk about why a title is so important to optimize.
right, right. So yeah, the next thing is the title, and really it's the most important on-page SEO. Now again, for those of you who are unfamiliar, SEO, search engine optimization, right, means it's the easiest to find. Like if you're going to search for something, then the brain behind the search engine goes, oh, okay, so this is what this means. It makes it as easy as possible to find. So that's what optimizing your search engine results are all about, right? So here's an example. You've got the word escape hammer, right? So when you're locked in, it's a seatbelt cutter, and it smashes out the window so you can get out of your car if you're locked in, right? It's a great title, right? But we've got before and after. Like here's their title: Original Life Hammer Escape. Okay, great. But they want to try and push like their name, right? Life Hammer. And I mean, two things. First of all, no one is searching for Life Hammer because it's not a well-known enough brand. So to put that in your title is just wasting space and wasting opportunity to be found in the search engine. Whereas an optimized title, right? We move down here. An optimized title: Escape Hammer, Window Breaker, Emergency and Survival Tool, Car Seat Belt Cutter, best for emergency rescue, 30-day money back guarantee. Now that 30-day money back guarantee, that's actually a little bit of copywriting, but for the most part, everything else are all things that you could naturally, like, you kind of play a word association game. If I was searching for something like this, how would I search for it? Well, I would search for the escape hammer, or I would search for window breaker. I mean, a lot of these items that people are buying on Amazon, they come from some kind of
Generic
referral.
word.
Yeah, yeah, like a generic word. Someone's like, oh yeah, I've got one of those. What are they called? It's not. They're trying
It's
to
a
think of
hammer.
escape hammer, but it's like a window breaker. It's like a survival kit. It's that pyramid game. So you're putting as many opportunities of what people could be searching for in your title, and that's incredibly important because what it'll do is it'll push your product above everyone else's product because that's what they're searching for. So naturally, Amazon's going to go, well, yeah, this needs to be much higher than everything else. And the higher you are up in the search engine, the more often people buy. Simple as that.
Yeah,
So.
makes sense to me.
So yeah, so I just keep going. I feel like I'm on a roll here. So the
Yeah.
the next point, right, are the bullets. We're talking about optimizing the listing itself, right? So you've got the title, and then you've got an opportunity to add like bullet points, some extra text, right? So this is where you can just underneath the information, the financial information, whatever you want to call it, uh, you've got the bullet points, and this is where you can actually use some copywriting text, some ways to say, hey, this is also some reasons why you should get it. High quality escape hammer, so on and so forth. I mean, we could talk about these points over and over again, but it's something that also is covered in the whole course and is talked about in great detail in the group. But for the point of this presentation, that's the next most important part is the bullet points, right? So these are your bullets. You want to go from something like here's a little tiny one-liner sort of thing to something that actually, like, if you're going to read the bullet points, have something interesting to read. Not everybody reads the bullet points, but a lot of them do. So you need to have something they can actually read instead of like, this is really good. Be a hero. You're more likely to use this to assist others than for your emergencies. Now you can save lives and be prepared in any scenario. I mean, that paints a picture for you, right? So you want to pretty up the bullets, right? Next, we have the product description, which is a little bit further down, right? And this is, ugh. I just look at this and I go, I don't even want to read it. Why would you
Boring.
want any information, right? But this is what you want, right? It's slightly modified. Now I can tell you, I just barely learned how to do this. You can't just go into the listing and go, okay, I want it to format like this, right? Amazon is very skittish when it comes to any kind of formatting, so most people just
HTML
get
code.
that. Yeah, yeah. So most people just like, okay, here you go. Here's the block of text. They don't know that if you add a few subtle things, then you can actually make it look more like this, right? More like this and less like this, right? So I just learned it myself. I was like, oh, okay. Now my listing looks way better. So product description, again, it's that you are differentiating yourself through all these subtle things that no one else thinks about that sells on Amazon, which is why you naturally are higher than everybody else in the listings, right? And of course, finally, I mean, I think we've beat this dead horse quite a few times, but again, reviews. More so, I think we're talking about this than anybody, just because that's where we're at right now, is getting reviews, right? That's the hardest part, and there's a trick that you'll learn a little bit later, that we can touch on. So that's the third optimization point. And before we get into the getting ranked on Amazon, I want to make sure that Van doesn't have any points to weigh in on here.
No, I did notice that Tatiana actually had another question about testing. She says, so is test free or you buy a minimum? Um, the test isn't free. I mean, basically, when we say that you're testing your product, you're buying a small amount so that you're not committed to a huge inventory that's not going to work out, or at least the investment isn't something that's going to kill you. Um, so when we say a test, you are testing inventory. You're kind of, but hopefully the test is based on a lot of research that you've done and the homework that you've done and getting to a point where you feel pretty good about your product. And sometimes the hardest part is just pulling that trigger to make sure that you're you're ready to commit. And so we start off with a small number, and it's just a way to kind of test it out. Like I said, you can also ask for a sample of the product itself if you really are not sure of how well it's going to work for you. So
Mhm.
that's probably the best way to find out if you like it or not.
Right. And one other thing, really quick, slightly off topic. Danielle said that he sent me an email, and if there's anybody who else wants to get in touch with me, you can contact me at zane@infospringmedia.com. I'll put it in the comments below just in case. But if you want to reach out via email, ask me any questions, you're more than welcome to. So if you send me that email, I'm looking forward to seeing that. But for anybody else, that's how you can reach me via email. All right. So. Very good point, Van. So let's just go ahead and move on into getting ranked in Amazon, which is really easy, especially with the tool that Jason has specifically as one of his bonuses, right?
Yeah. One of the things that we're going to circle back to our friend Raul here.
Right.
Um, this is the conversation between him and Jason. And so Jason's basically asking him, so you go to work full time and then you come home. How much time do you spend on your Amazon business? He says, at the beginning, I spent a little bit more time because it was some learning. And you guys are going to find this out that this takes some time to get ramped up and to get confident in this. But literally after you do the first product, it's like, okay, I did it. I can make this thing happen. Um, so he says, I put some learning into it. So the first month I put in some time. Having said that, probably in the last 4 weeks, which is when I've gotten the bulk of my sales, I've probably spent, I'm going to say 1 hour a week, maybe making a video, maybe doing a little traffic once a day. The rest of the time is just checking stats. It says, are you number one ranked product for the main keyword that you're selling on Amazon right now? And his answer, he says, no, I have a lot of growth. There's a lot of room to grow. My numbers are beyond what I need, yet still there's lots of growth. I keep going between page 2 and the bottom of page 1, so there's a lot of room. And so his ranking, even though he's not like the top of number 1, he's still making pretty good income. So, but he is on page 1 or 2, and you can see just based on that, he's putting in 1 hour a week with that kind of ranking. That kind of ranking is getting him the numbers and the sales that he needs. It's awesome. So,
Right.
and then on top of that, he's like, I still can make this bigger. I can still get more sales because I'm, between one and two. So I still have room to grow. And so that's a great outlook on that.
Oh yeah, well, especially again is like what I see is that, well, I float between page two and the bottom of page one, which again, which was one of the big aha moments for me, is that, oh, okay, so you don't have to be in the number one place at the top of the first page to make any money. I mean, there's definitely a huge difference between position one and position 10, but you can still make some decent money off of it. I mean, like Raul earlier, he's making consistently $3,500 a month by being on the bottom of page one or onto page two, which means that there's massive, even more massive potential, which is probably why he's so excited. He's just like, I'm making almost $4,000 a month consistently, and I'm not even in the big, let's compete with the big boys kind of space. That's got to be hugely motivating.
Oh, definitely. So getting ranked is definitely vital to making sure that this process is going to work for you.
Yeah, and it's so worth it. I love this next slide here, right? Because they've actually have been able to take some special tools to be able to spy on the competition. Yet another tool that you'll be able to get your hands on in the group, so you can actually see like, okay, well, what about this product, right? So like this first one right here, this gold glass car wash shampoo, right, selling for $8.99, and this is about $876 a day. And we're not talking about gross, like how much it's making total. This is net profit. This is money in the bank in your pocket. You can, in 2 weeks when they fill up your account, right? That's how Amazon works. They put the money in your account every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, you can be able to pull this out and spend it just like that. $876 a day, $12,753 a day, $4,339 a day, $955 a day, 23,000. Holy crap! What is that? Yeah, Garcinia Cambogia. Holy cow! Yeah, no wonder it's making $23,000 a day. I told you guys, health and beauty, fitness, that kind of stuff. It is massive. People are buying that like crazy. So, again, it varies, but we're also talking about like, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all to make $876 a day and then eventually make $23,000 a day. I'm okay with that. I don't know. What about you, Van?
Yeah, I could probably get over that. I
Right.
work that into my lifestyle.
So this next point, I think I've hammered on it before, but again, just so that you guys understand, because a lot of you again are similar in my vein. You're also internet marketers like myself, so you hear all the time, Google, Amazon, right? Well, again, I'm pretty sure I've made the point, but just to break it down a little bit further, right? Google wants relevant results so you can get information and feel informed and social activity and yada yada yada. That's also going to take forever. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're on the first page of Google for your product, awesome, kudos to you. But you don't have to, because it's also very frustrating if you've been in internet marketing as long as I have. You know how hard it could be to rank number one in Google for like vitamins or something like that. It's just no way. Whereas Amazon, right? There's all these ranking factors, right? Whereas Amazon, they're only concerned with what you're going to buy, not what's most relevant, right? So I guess that it comes down to the question like, what would you rather be a number one ranked number one for? Right? You want that in Amazon, or you want it in Google? You definitely want it in Amazon, because all they care about is keyword optimization and sales and conversion rate. So basically, are they going to search for your product, find it, and are they going to buy it? Well, yeah, especially since if you follow what we talked about with titles, images, descriptions, all those things, you will line up with exactly what Amazon wants, which is why so many people are able to get up and running with their business and making thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars per month. Van, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, in fact, when I'm not an internet marketer, so when you're like, we're gonna work on Amazon optimization, I'm like, you're the boss.
Right,
So
right,
I'm cool with that. But
right.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Amazon wants to basically see sales. They're about selling products. Google's making their money through ads and search engine stuff. Amazon and Google basically have different um, ways of optimizing or searching for things. So
Yeah.
Amazon's the way you want to go on this. That's kind of the short end of the answer for that. But
Yeah.
this is how they're going to rank in Amazon. This is how they get that information.
Right. So you want to again, keywords in your title is very important. Again, like we touched on, things that people are searching for, like escape hammer, window breaker, those kinds of things. Now, Amazon does have suggestions, right? Again, calling back to some of the internet marketers, the keyword research tools that are out there, right? Well, they have one specific for Amazon. It's called Merchant Words. And not a lot of people know about it, but it calculates all the different keywords and terms that people are searching for. So you can hop, skip, and jump over to Merchant Words and go, okay, what are the best words? I mean, you don't even have to think about them yourselves. You can just ask Amazon, like, hey, Amazon, if I'm trying to sell this, what do you think I should put in my title? Well, you use Merchant Words and go, okay, well, this keyword is being searched, hundreds and thousands of times, so I want to have this keyword in here, and I want to have this, and I want to have that, and that's how you come up with the title. Again, guys, these are things that we have learned strictly through Amazing Selling Machine and what they have taught us. This isn't like, back information of like, oh yeah, I learned this over the years. This is coming from Amazing Selling Machine and how simple it is to put together, really. So and then so there's your keyword, the keywords in your title, and then your brand name, right? Now these guys have Lifehammer. Yeah, not a bad idea as far as branding goes. But then you want to think about, again, how it's going to interact, how easy it is to associate your product with whatever keywords that they're searching for, right?
Mhm.
So anything that you wanted to add to that before we move on into the sales aspect?
No, that sums it up for me.
All right, cool. So basically, this is the sales recency, right? When we're talking about the rankings and things like that, this is one of those things that they want to see, consistent sales, over and over again, and that's where the Amazon rank that we touched on a little bit earlier comes in. Is like, okay, how often are they making sales? How often are they being found? And that's when Amazon starts ranking you, and they give it its own proprietary ranking system, which is why you see Amazon bestseller rank here, like 1,244,000, and we've got this other example right here, right?
Yeah.
Let me
So it's
make
quite
sure
a
I'm,
big.
yeah.
Well, that's basically a big jump in the ranking because that within 6 days they were selling things back to back to where Amazon said, "Hey, this guy's getting." It's kind of like a popularity contest, It's like, "Hey, this guy's pretty popular. People are searching him, they're finding him, they're buying it. This is the guy we want ranked up there so that we can make more money." So in the end, that's really what Amazon's looking for is like, are they making better money? And if so, that justifies bumping them up in the rankings. So
Right. So here's the thing. Here's the big thing though, is that there's a bunch of sales really fast, all back to back, and Amazon goes, interesting. But see, that's the thing. What if you sold it for a penny or a dollar or something like that? I mean, you could get anybody to buy any product, no matter how crappy they may think it is. Like, okay, yeah, I'll buy it for a dollar. And see, Amazon sees that and they go, oh, sale. It doesn't matter if it's $100 sale or if it's a 1 penny sale. But again, what are we after? We're after reviews.
yeah,
So we want those reviews, and we want to see that sales recency. We want to see that Amazon saying, hey, so not only are they getting good reviews, they're also very their listing is very optimized. Okay, these are all really important factors to us. So up goes the rankings,
this
and
this is actually a strategy that Jason and Wilson have been utilizing, where they do sell their product. And I'm not kidding. They'll sell that test batch for like pennies on the dollar type of thing because what they're interested in is saying, hey, you know what? I'm willing to give away this product to get a couple things out of this. One, I want reviews. And two, I need to get ranking because like our friend Raul, he got ranked up there to page 1 or 2 and his involvement with his product dropped to 1 hour a week because on page 1 and 2, he's making some pretty dang good money. And if it still has room to grow. But getting to that first page or second page is critical in order to basically go on to cruise control because without cruise control, then you're not getting the liberty that you need out of this. So
right.
basically, when that idea was put out there, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, I'm not selling my product for nothing.
Right.
I'm going to lose money." You're like, "Yeah, you might lose it on this round, but you need to get that ranking." And so it's a strategy. It's not something you're forced to do. It's not something you have to do, but it's a strategy that if you want to get things up and running quickly, you are going to start
Yeah.
looking at strategies that are going to get you that kind of ranking. So, like Zane said, sales recency. If you've got a promotion out there, which is one of the things that we'll be
Hmm.
discussing, if you got a promotion out there, people are starting to buy it for 1 cent or $1, and they
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So well, I mean, it's like I mean, Jason brings up this, puts it together very simply. If Amazon called you and offered you a page one ranking for the best keyword for $1,500, would you say yes? Now, of course, you go, okay, well, I still don't know very much about it, but I will tell you somebody who would have done that. His name is Matson Magleby. He actually lives here in Utah. Van and I have had lunch with him a couple times because he's making okay, when I first started talking to him about it, specifically Amazon, because I've known him for a couple of years, but specifically about his product, when I first started talking to him, he was making $25,000 a month, and I was like, whoa, what on earth are you doing? Because I mean, he's also he's been a customer of mine. He's bought my products, and so I'm thinking, okay, what is this guy doing, and why hasn't he told me about it? So there was that, and he said when he was making $25,000 a month, I wish I would have done what Jason suggested and put that money. And again, like Van said, it's a strategy, it's a recommendation, it's a strong recommendation because it's very effective. But the guy who's making $25,000 a month is going, man, I wish I would have done that. Now he's making $85,000 a month, and he may actually hit 100,000 this month.
actually, it's funny because in this he hit 100,000 on his
Oh, he
way to
did.
China. Yeah, he's flying over to China right now, and he made 100 grand on his way there. They just hit that benchmark.
Woo! Congratulations to Matson. Right. So, but still, like he brought it up at a lunch again recently. He's just like, man, I so wish I would have had that money because he knows that he would have been already making $100,000 a month, at least a couple months ago, maybe even 6 months ago, because it's so incredibly effective. Now, I did want to touch on one other thing. Tatiana was asking about the software, and I will tell you any software that we mention in this broadcast, it's all something that uh, through Jason Fladlin and Wilson Matos, the bonuses that they offer through our link. So all the software, the ASM ranker that we're talking about, the Matrix, all the things that we've talked about that have given us the huge leg up in not just for us but for everybody who's used this, all of it is included as a bonus, just so that you know. So
Yeah, there's no upsell at the end of this. When you buy this product, this is the whole kit and caboodle. You're not going to have to be like, oh, by the way, if you really want to do well, you're going to pay another, whatever. It
right.
No, whatever we offer, it's part of the package that Jason and Will are offering. It's
Mhm.
it's really an amazing deal.
Right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next point because I mean wow, we've been at this for an hour and a half now.
Yep.
Rock on, go team. So to keep this moving upward and onward, we've got we talked about the ranking factors, keyword optimization, the sales recency, and now the conversion rate, which again comes down to the same thing. How many times are they going to search for what we're offering and then find it, and whether or not they'll buy it, right?
Yeah.
So
Once they click on your site, they want to know, did that person buy it once they went there?
right, exactly. So some conversion rate points. What do you think converts better? Three 5-star reviews or thousands of reviews averaging 4 stars? Good question, right?
I think basically they both do really well. I think that's the whole point is that in order to get the ball rolling, you need about 3 5 stars reviews. Once people start seeing that your products, generating reviews, that's what helps convert. That's what helps people
Right.
go, hey, you know what? I'm going to follow the herd. They bought this. I feel it's safe to buy as well. And so that's why getting those reviews are a big deal because
Right.
nobody wants to be the first in the door. And same thing, if you saw, somebody had an average rating of 4 stars and they had thousands of reviews, it's just as impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and here's the thing that I've seen is that even though you have thousands of reviews with an average of 4 stars, really people are looking at the listing right out of the gate. Let me show you what I mean. Right. So when it comes right down to it, when people are searching, they see, okay, here's the number of stars. They look at the stars, but they don't really pay attention to how many reviews they have exactly. I mean, obviously the more reviews you have, the better. But really, to get that ball rolling, 3 5-star reviews, that's the most important thing. I go, okay, I see that there are multiple stars and there's at least more than one review. Okay, I'm good. So the it kind of hits a point of diminishing returns once you start getting into 10, 15, then into 100, and into 1,000. Like after a certain point, having multiple reviews or thousands of reviews, yeah, people again their main focus is that if there's not a review, they don't care. If there's just a handful of reviews, they're on board, and then you can just build from there. So you're pretty much at a wash when it comes to just a few reviews. But that means again, when you look at it in a bigger context, you go, well, wait a second. If I only need 3 5-star reviews, then I can get some people that I know to make a verified Amazon purchase. Be honest, write a review, but say nice things about me, or else we're not friends. No, I'm just kidding. You don't you don't have to do that. Again, there are many ways that we have now recently have been putting into play in the specific Jason and Will Facebook group that are going to help us with the reviews. But early on when we first started, it was like, okay, go find some of your family and friends to buy your product, which is a big pain in the neck. So just go through the system that they recommend. So does that make sense? Again, with the reviews of needing just a few, and you don't need thousands to get started.
Right. No, that does make perfect sense. So,
Cool, cool.
at least to me. I mean, and like I said, if you guys have any more questions, especially even after this is over, we're still going to be available to answer and to try to help you guys make sure that you're well informed on this
Hmm.
type of purchase.
Absolutely. All right.
All right.
So here's something that well, I no actually let me find it. You've been looking at the documentation longer than I have. Where should we be going here?
Well, there's a couple of things that I think Jason is adding to this whole thing, which is actually very intriguing. There's an associate of Jason's that seems to be pretty well versed in the Facebook world. Is it Dr. Ben?
Yep, Dr. Ben Atkins.
Yeah. It looks like, let me see here. Oh no, sorry, Ben Cummings.
Oh,
Nope, sorry, that's another person. Never mind.
okay.
Anyways, basically they've come up with a really nice strategy for boosting your ranking and your sales by using this multi-step process. So why don't you throw that up there? It's page 121.
Alrighty, bingo.
And you have a little French
Nope.
dog there.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about Ben Cummings.
Not yet. Anyways, this is basically I think this is part of their a way to try to drive traffic to your site and to basically get that ranking and that conversion quickly. So first they have an ad that they're sharing on Facebook. Um, then that ad will take you to the squeeze page, and this squeeze page was what basically gives you a breakdown. It says yes, you read correctly because you saw this. They've blurred out some of the information because it seems uh, they want to keep some of this information, or at least the product information, private. Um, anyways, you have 48 hours to buy this for nothing. And so they're literally, this is one of the strategies that we're talking about, or they're going to be basically giving this product away for nothing to the buyer's expense. They give them a coupon code, and then the thing that they click on is a link that takes them directly to the Amazon page that you have set up. And say maybe you can explain this better, but as far as I understand, it basically is a link that shows Amazon that this person directly went searching through Amazon, found
Hmm.
your product, and then clicked on it. Like
Yeah,
this is like a shortcut that takes you directly to there, but it lets Amazon know that somebody searched you out organically and found your link.
yeah, exactly. And I mean that's one of the greatest things I like about this process is that okay, that's not is that yeah, I mean you're actually qualifying the traffic as it goes through. You're saying, hey, here's a great deal. click this link to get the coupon, and then they give you very clear directions, right? And all of this again is explained step by step for anybody who wants to follow this same strategy because it's been so phenomenally successful. So
Yeah.
they get the information, but what we're doing on the other side is that we also have proprietary software specifically through us and Jason Fladland's link that allows you to create your link so that it basically explains to Amazon like, okay, when this person clicks on this link, it's just like going to the Amazon search engine and searching for this specific keyword, and then goes. You can be on page 9,000 if you need to, right?
Yeah.
And as long as you have that software, basically, it's like, okay, search, and then search and click page, next page, next page until we get to page 50 where your listing is, and that's where I want to buy it from, because that's all Amazon sees. They see, oh, okay, because of this software, this person is going to this thing and specifically finding your product based on that keyword. So they see that as, wow, incredibly good conversion, and these are the kind of results that we get, right? We get the traffic being actually qualified ahead of time, right? And then we get these really good percentages, and then of course Amazon sees that, goes, wow, that listing needs to be up higher and higher and higher, and it's because of, again, that proprietary software.
Yeah, and so that helps with that conversion and sales recency. And the thing is that it could take as little as three of your friends clicking on that link to buy that product to help you get that kind of conversion. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the crazy thing. You don't need hundreds of people to be doing this for Amazon to be like, oh, I'm going to start moving you up. It only takes three people to really get the ball rolling. So um, this gentleman, Ben Cummings, he's showing us one of his badges.
Right, you
Do
see
you see
that?
that?
Ugh, makes me sick.
That like but that badge, that's actually a screenshot they're grabbing from Amazon's dashboard. And when you set up a seller's account, you get this little dashboard that keeps you updated on your 7 days, your 15 days, your 30 days. And what Jason likes to encourage to kind of help people stay motivated in his community is for people to post these badges. And it's awesome because you see this, you're like, holy crap, this guy's doing it. And he used that same system that Jason was doing, and he got the conversion that was able to get him ranked up quickly. And by getting ranked up quickly, he was able to start making, some pretty serious money for that month. So he gave away maybe 50 or 100 products, or I'm not sure what they gave away, but you basically say, I want to give away 30 or 40 units at a really, really low price, maybe for nothing, so I can get that ranking. And then it's
Mhm.
going to pay for itself. The rest of your inventory is going to start being sold for the regular price or coupon pricing, depending on how you do it. And you're going to get that conversion. You're going to get that ranking. So it seems kind of hard to swallow at first that you have to give some of your product away, but man, the payoff in the end is just it's brilliant. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, and to that point, we went through something very similar. We're like, well, we don't want to just lose our product like that. And again, we're saying the same sob story as Matson. It was like, we should have done that and we didn't. So try and learn from our mistakes if you're able to do that. So I want to actually take this point because there's a lot of really great information here. But what I'd like to do is actually take some time to answer some more of these questions that you have here on the event page more directly, and give us some more time to see what other information we want to extrapolate from the slides that Jason has put together. Because again, this is some pretty cool stuff. So. Chris Vogelman's back. Awesome, very cool. Thanks to see you here. And again, he's been awesome. He's actually, let's go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Chris is actually a part of Amazing Selling Machine. He's in the group as well. So his comments are very accurate because he's knee deep into this just as much as we are. And I never asked Chris, do you like Christopher or Chris? Because that I keep saying Chris. Anyway, so very, very, very good points. He writes, Sam had asked, like, are there ways to entice people to write reviews? And he makes a good point. I'm just going to read straight from what Christopher says. There are many ways to entice customers to give reviews, but you cannot pay them to give reviews. That's a huge violation to Amazon terms of services, and it's a big deal. So just don't, right? Um, And let's see, yes, the Dr. Ben Atkins and Ben Cummings, very very smart guys. Apparently, they're also chiropractors. Ben is not a doctor, but he is a good friend. That's always the joke. That Ben Atkins isn't a real doctor. Okay, so let's see. How do you actually get the reviews? Yeah, it's true. Some people will offer, up to 99% off. Heck, we've even tossed it in as like our product's $45, but you can get it for $1, right?
Yeah. Hey,
Um,
just one
yeah.
thing that Chris pointed up there. He says, Zane, when you come into Cabo, this. Okay, sorry, Christopher.
Okay. All right.
um, he said Cabo. That's actually a good point. Your coaching on this. I mean, okay, we're giving you quite a just a huge info dump on this. In fact, your brain might be like, oh my gosh, I'm filled, I'm done. Um, but you're going to be getting the sessions after this that are going to take you step by step in fine detail to make sure that you're getting all the information and your courses are all laid out. Um, Jason takes it another step further with his ASM Master Group, which is filled with people that are a lot of successful people, a lot of people that are new, a lot of people that are in the middle phase. And then he takes it even another step further when he set up a Cabo trip where he basically said, hey, you know what? If you want to talk to some of these guys that are just brilliant at this and just it's natural for them and you want to pick their brain, we have this trip in Cabo that we're going to set up and we're going to try and come up with even better ideas on how to make this thing work and be even more profitable. And so they did a Cabo trip in March.
Uh, yeah, it was in March. It was in March
Yeah.
because I remember because I didn't get my passport in time, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, kind of. But then I think they're doing another Cabo trip because it was very helpful and very successful. They're doing another one in August as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We will
when
be on that one, right?
the whole point is that the coaching on this thing, when you buy this, it doesn't, they're not just like, okay, read the courses and you'll know what to do. It's like, we're going to take you by the hand and we're going to step you through this all the way to the end. And our goal is that you are successful making money.
Yeah,
Um,
you see how much activity is happening in this group. There's just more and more. There's always people happen. Oh wait, there was a screenshot, right? Of hey, this is a bunch of money. I wanted to scroll through it really quick because I just want to make sure that it's not one of those
oh
things like
yeah,
hey, you showed my picture when I didn't want you to. So, but just again to show you guys, to show you that like this is a legit group. It's been around since early last year. So I mean, there's always somebody who has either a little bit more experience, mildly more experience, or a ton more experience than you do, and you can rely on. Again, they're very very friendly people. I'll be straight with you guys. I even forgot my ASM password to get into like the real members area because I just focus all my time on the ASM Masters group in Facebook because it's so incredibly effective, which is why
yeah.
we partnered with Jason in the first place.
So Zane, we could do a recap, but I think I would like to just jump into some of the testimonials and bonuses. And these are real stats from
Yeah,
people
cool,
that
cool.
are just, it really makes you go, holy crap. It's like, and here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. How long has ASM been around, Zane? How long have they been selling it?
Yeah, this will be now. It's been a full year.
Okay, so this will be the third time that they've offered this round right now. So when you're looking at our numbers from people that have been doing this for the past year,
Yeah,
we're, we're not talking like this thing's been around for 10 years and they've had all this time to build up this thing. They're doing this over the last 10 years. And
or
that's
the
the
last
part.
year.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, not 10 years.
Not the last 10. Yes, the last year. So when you look at their badges, this is their monthly 30-day results. And so, Zane, I'm going
Yep,
to turn
there's Matson. Yeah, Matson right there. You weren't kidding. A
yeah,
hundred grand in 30 days. Jeez.
yeah. And
Oh,
as it says at the bottom, it says, not a bad story. Hit 100,000 while flying over the Pacific on our way to China. Notice the 7 and 15 days numbers. We're doing over $4,000 a day in sales. Whew.
wow. Yeah. I just I don't even have words for Matson anymore. He should have
Yeah.
bought us lunch, right?
Yeah, why did we buy him lunch? No, he's fun to hang out with. I had no problem with that. But yeah, I mean, these are basically testimonies of people that have been using the system, taking the advice, not questioning it, because I think that's sometimes one of the things that we do to trip us up is that we're like, well, that doesn't, I'm not going to do that, and then you're like, oh, I should have done that. But yeah, so here's another guy, Ben Cummings. Uh, once again, 30 days, 14, well, probably closer to 15 grand. Our mystery man,
Yeah, Lloyd Hamilton, man. Like I saw this, and this is actually just recent, April 13th,
yeah,
just 5 days ago, 4 days ago. Yeah.
yeah. Here's another Sandeep Bara. I don't know. Once again, 30 days making $10,000. And like I said, Jason encourages people to post those badges. Zane and I, we're not like breaking any records with what we're doing, but we're following the system and we're doing it at our own pacing. Kind of, I would say we're probably on the same track as Raul there, um, but we're getting there. And the thing is that these are the numbers that keep us encouraged. That we go to this forum, we get the advice that we want, we see these numbers, and it keeps us motivated because, um, you know, not every day is going to be the best day you've ever had, and so you kind of need that encouragement to keep going.
Mhm. And another one here from Alex saying, on Jason's birthday back on April 7th, we reached the 2K milestone with our recent product that was launched a few weeks ago. Um, just very very exciting. I'm like, $2,000 a month. I just within a few weeks. Within a few weeks.
Yeah,
I mean, I've launched all sorts of products and put a lot of time and effort into it, and you can make money pretty quick if you know what you're doing in internet marketing, but never something like this of like, yeah, you just got going in a couple weeks and now I'm making $2,000 a month. Just not common.
yeah. And you think about it, if you like, if you made, let's just say you made $2,500 a month, and you're like, okay, you do that for 6 months, that's 10, 12, 15, 100. Yeah, it's money. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm an artist. I'm not a mathematician. That's not my strong point.
with your numbers and stuff.
Numbers, yeah, but yeah, that's 10 grand in 6 months or over 10 grand. Um, but you think about it and you think, okay, what's it going to take for me to get this thing started? And you start, putting the math together and you're like, you know what, that's really not a whole lot. If this is something that's going to really be with me for the rest of my natural life, or as how long as you want to put it out there. I mean, this might be an inheritance you pass on to your children. Okay, you get my
Yeah.
Amazon accounts done. So,
Everything you see here.
yes,
So,
it will be yours.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, we just keep going through these testimonials, and you start going, man, this really could change the way I live my life. There
Yeah.
there are people that quit their jobs that they're even happy with, to basically do Amazon.
Yeah, and see, and this is something I wanted to point out with this specific product here. First sale with second product, like not just the first, but the second product. I mean, that's I forgot to mention actually, we're actually in the stages of getting the second product going
Oh
because
yeah,
all right, if we're just waiting for the reviews to go through, all right, cool, then we need to get on top of another product because it's not that hard. Like we've gone through all the motions, let's just do it again. So first sale on second product. For the first product, no advertising, just the product being up there. I was averaging $500 every 2 weeks. Again, first product, no advertising, making $500 every 2 weeks. Not bad because it's still just up and running. And again, you don't have to deal with any of the inventory. It's money that's just being made. The second product was much nicer than the first, but in the same niche and $10 larger sale. So the amounts are going to start to stack up quickly, right? So next up, another 5K sales. Yesterday, reaching the 5K goal with my first product feels amazing and absolutely grateful because this is life-changing money here. All sorts of things can be done with this because now she has the ability to do so. I totally just butchered that thing. You say something, man.
sorry, I was just looking at some of the comments, just in the group really quick, just to make
Yeah.
sure that we're not missing anything here. Like I say, Christopher's doing a great job in answering them pretty quickly here and stuff. Um, but yeah, there's a comment is, what is the name of the Facebook group you have? It's ASM Masters, and as Christopher pointed out, it is a group that you become part of. It's private. We're not. This isn't open to the public that anybody can just come in, because these are people that pay for it. These are people that have put in their own time, their effort, and they've made a commitment. They're not just kicking the tires. They're not walking around. These are people that paid for the product, put it into action, and are getting the results. And so there's this a private group for them to allow them to basically talk openly with their peers that are doing the exact same thing, and not have to worry about people that are trying to basically game the system. So appreciate Christopher making a lot of good comments out there. So,
Right.
um,
And real quick, Zane. Why am I saying my own name? Real quick, Van. Right, because that's
I'm
your
your
name.
alter ego.
Yeah, Van's not even real. So, just wanted to say, actually, someone messaged me on Facebook last night, and no joke. In fact, I'll show you right here. I'll show you on the screen, so you know that it's legit, right? Right here, Steven Snowman. If you're here, I hope you're in the Hangout. But he just signed up through the link. You don't want to go to mybestbonus.com because again you want to go through our link, but when you go through our link it redirects to there. So just wanted to say awesome. Welcome to the group, Stephen, or Stefan. Sorry if I butchered your name. But thanks for being here, and thanks for taking the leap. And you should connect with us, and we can talk about your product and stuff. So again, congratulations. Wonderful, wonderful, and we look forward to making lots of money with you. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So now the question is what makes you different than the people that have made all these different success stories? I mean, it's something that you think, you know what? Are these people any better than you? Are they smarter than you? Are they better looking? I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but these are people that have actually taken action and have done something with this, and they're reaping the rewards for it. That's the part that is, I've talked to a couple different people that are like, oh yeah, I didn't get it the first time around, and I want to kick myself for it. I just, I feel feel like I really missed out the first time around, so they're like eager to jump in the next go around. And this is the product that when it closes, they don't open it up. Well, it's so far has been about every 6 months, but they don't really put it out there when they're opening it up again. They like to kind of keep the energy going on it, and so if you miss the opportunity, it closes on the 25th,
Yeah.
and that's when you kind of missed the boat for this time around.
Right.
Um, but do
Well,
you have
one,
something?
one thing, yeah, no, no, what I really wanted to add here is that I mean it really is kind of a two part thing that we're talking about. First of all, the benefit that you have is that there's an exact step-by-step approach where you can systematically do all of that. I'm pretty sure in the last hour and a half, almost 2 hours, that we've explained exactly how this system works, how you can do it, and how you can do it so much faster working with us. Now, the other part that you have is you have Jason. Like Jason and Will. I mean, I can't think of anybody who's put more time and effort into this system. I mean, I'm kind of wondering, like, wow, okay, so I wonder what the original creators of the product are going to be doing, because Jason, just when he finds something, he just goes nuts and dives as deep as he possibly can. I don't know anybody who has more experience with Amazon listings, selling successful products. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Nobody knows more about this than he does, and he's even got a group to support the entire thing. So, yeah, you've got the systematic approach for through ASM, and that's great. But then you got Jason, who's just this nut who just dove in like crazy, create all sorts of tools, everything you could possibly need to make this work, and that's why this is better than anything you could possibly go for, honestly.
Yeah, it's ironic that even the original creators can't really compete with Jason. I mean, okay, let's just be clear on this. This isn't Jason's product. He hasn't, he didn't create the original content, but he sells for the ASM guys. But he's so good at it that they actually try to copy what he's doing, and he's gone above and beyond because this thing is so huge that he can see the potential. Not only does he see the potential, but he definitely exploits the potential by creating the tools and the bonuses and the software that are going to make it so that this thing's a cakewalk. And well, cakewalk's kind of making it sound too easy, but it is worth the effort, 100%. So um, let's talk about some of his bonuses.
Yeah, we should definitely jump into that. I did when let me know the page. I did want to show this part right here, because this is something that I do think is pretty cool, specific to the guys who created Amazing Selling Machine.
Mhm.
Is in the back end of their in the members area. You guys will see it when you sign up, but you'll see this area where you sign in and you go, oh, wait a second, look at this, and then you start going, wait a second, does that say 500,000 monthly revenue? Does this one say 100,000 monthly revenue? And actually, as you can see, ran some numbers, crunched some numbers, and yeah, this is verifiably true. $7.8 million per month is what the customers are making, the amazing selling machine customers. So I and they have this awesome gamification, these badges right here. They say, hey, upload your screenshot of your numbers, and we'll give you a little badge, like a little game, right? So then when people are hanging out in the amazing selling machine forum, like the specific members area, they can see that, wow, this guy made $100,000 last month and is continuing to do so. 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. I mean, this isn't just the every once in a while somebody makes $50,000 a month. No, it's happening all the time, consistently, month in and month out. So you guys can see why we're so excited about this, right?
Yeah, I am. And here's the thing, Amazing Selling Machine, I'm going to be blunt. This is an investment, and it could hurt a little bit, especially when you start seeing, you know what, this is a chunk of change. This is not exactly the easiest thing to come up with. Um, and it's not cheap by any stretch, but is that a bad thing? Because I'll tell you one thing, there's nothing more motivating than making sure you get your money's worth. And I'll tell you, like for me, when I put down that kind of money, I'm like, geez, you know what? I better do something with this. This isn't like a $50 product that you just bought and you're just like, yeah, if I never return it to the store, if I never, I could live with that. But when you buy something that has something of this price point, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth and you're willing to put the action and the time and the investment. So there's a reason for that kind of thing. Um, and the question is if you could see 6 months into the future and you could see that you would make $50,000 in that amount of time, would you have a hard time putting down 10 grand for that? Now, I'm not saying that's what those things cost, not by any stretch of the imagination, but if you knew that you could make $50,000 by putting X amount of dollars into it, I think you would jump on it. I would. I'm like, okay, in 6 months I can make 50,000 if I put 10 into it. I'm done. I'm there. So here's the crazy thing. Will and Jason are so adamant about the success of this program that they're willing to give you the best guarantee I've ever heard. I honestly, I'm just like, I try to get hold of Wilson to give him, ask confirmation. He was just like, yeah, that's our guarantee. Um, but uh, sorry,
Yeah.
saying
Do you,
his.
do you do you have the page of where you're talking about of the what do you want us to see?
Oh, I was. No, we don't really need that anymore. We're good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll just because we're getting to the end of this thing. Basically,
Right.
it's to help you understand where we're at and why we do this.
Hmm.
And the kind of guarantee and the bonuses, this basically sells. I told Wilson, I was like, you know what? I'd buy this thing again if I saw this. It's that good. But the thing you have to ask yourself is what is actually stopping you from doing this? And the two biggest answers we get is time and money. Well, time isn't going to be that big of an issue. There's a learning curve to this, and there is some investment in time to basically manage this. But as far as starting up your own business on Amazon, this is the lowest impact on your time that you're ever going to have with any kind of business, period. And I know I've started up my own businesses, and I know how time consuming they can be. So um, basically, the money is not going to be an excuse either. You can find a way to do it, especially when you know on the other side, when you come out the other end, you know you've made your money back many, many, many times over. Um, as far as focus, like that was actually our number one excuse. We're focused on other things, it kind of gets in the way. After going through this course and I'm basically recommitted to it. Like basically after I get off this call, Zane and I are going to get that second product up and going and make sure that it has traction. Um, but basically focus on this as being the biggest life altering change that you're going to make. You're going to put this kind of money into it, do it, and then
Yeah.
do something, take the action. So here's what we have is you sign up now. And when you do so, know that you have the most unyielding, unbending force of compelling success backing you. You know what that force is?
Jason
Take a wild
Fladlin.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Fladlin and his partner Wilson. I mean, Jason is a big force in it, but Wilson is the guy behind the scenes that lots of times I don't think gets enough credit. But Wilson and Jason combined are going to give you that awesome support that you need. Um, and specifically, we have an unfair offering that no one else can match. First of all are the bonuses. All right, we're going to talk about bonus number one. Is Jason basically says, I'll do it with you again. He says, I have the largest Facebook group, the ASM Masters. There isn't another group in the whole ASM community. So understand when we say the ASM community, Jason has his own group, and then ASM creators, they have their group, and there's probably a whole bunch of other ones out there. Out of all those different groups, Jason's ASM Masters is well titled. These guys are the masters of this industry. They are doing it and they're rocking it. And I think Amazon's starting to be like, wow, this group's pretty interesting. And there's more success stories in this group than any other area. And we have more information and knowledgeable people because they have done this, they put into action, and using Jason's setup and his tools and software, they're unstoppable. So bonus number one, you got Jason, you have his group. It's amazing. He just posted this last week in the group. He says, once we pushed through the review system, we went from page 20, so we couldn't use an ASM ranker link for it, to now on page 4 in less than 7 days. We got 5 reviews out of it. 4 were 5 stars, one was 4 stars. It took 4 days after the push before it started to really move. When on page 2, do not go and search. So yeah, but this is a comment that he posted in the group, kind of encouraging and moving people forward.
Yeah.
Um,
So hey, I'll jump on bonus too if you'd like.
um, just really quick, he wanted to
Okay.
point out on this is that they have a document. Like I said, there's a spreadsheet they put together that they update very often about products that are available and have been ranked and vetted, and well, I won't say ranked, but they have been vetted, and that you understand that these are products that are good from the list that they have put together.
Mhm.
And they basically reveal everything on how to find those products. So go ahead with bonus two.
Smashing. So bonus two, we've talked about our good friend Matson Magleby, Matson or Morgan. Morgan is his brother, but they're offering. He's offering. Matson is 3 personal coaching sessions. Right. So going to sit down, talk about your product, talk about ways to source the product, and then ways to optimize the listing and things like that. Because I mean, who doesn't want to talk to the guy who makes $100,000 a month, right? So very very simple but powerful bonus: 3 personal coaching sessions with Matson or Morgan Magleby.
And guess what? Matson doesn't necessarily need the money, so his time is actually pretty expensive. Um,
Right.
Jason's paying for this out of his pocket for you to
Yep.
sign up and basically be able to take advantage of somebody that is a superstar in this world.
Yeah, and last time, Jason paid Matson $45,600 uh, for his expenses, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
like it's coming out of Jason's pocket into and being put into Matson's pocket, but it's just to help you guys to have this awesome bonus.
Right. And part of their coaching, they do product selection, they do keyword optimization, and they'll help you get from 10,000 to beyond that. And they have recorded videos. They have 2 recorded videos that they're going to give you, and they are also including their Amazon ad secret training. So how to take advantage of Amazon's ads. Zane lightly touched upon that
Hmm.
earlier. So that coaching right there in itself is invaluable, and Jason is paying for that out of his pocket to make sure that you have every advantage you can have to make sure that your product gets up there and does well. So bonus number 3, 20-minute.
Bonus.
Oh, go
Yep.
ahead, Zane. Go
No.
for it.
Okay. All right. I was just I was jumping the gun a little bit. I know it was your turn. But okay. 20-minute private consultation with Jason Fladlin, and he's actually has a. Well, okay. He's done over 2,250 minutes of consulting. So, I mean, honestly, when it comes right down to it, there's not anybody who's done this more often than Jason. Not only selling his, creating and selling his own products, but then turning around and helping other people do it. There's just nobody else who is as much of an expert on Amazon listings as Jason. Maybe Matson, but I'm going to go ahead and be safe with a good call on Jason on the variety, right? So he'll sit down with you for 20 minutes. So what I would do, I'd sit down with Matson or Mason and sit down and talk to
Morgan.
them. Morgan, yeah, your son is Mason. Anyway, so sit down with them and get it all figured out and get it the way that they recommend, and then turn around and go, all right, Jason, how can you make it better? So you've got like the really good guy, and then like the really really good guy, and then you've got a very powerful listing right there.
Yeah. Just really quick, Daniel Hornberg actually asked a question: is how long is this link going to be up? for ordering through us, m2methods.com/ASM. It's actually going to be up there. Basically, this link will be active for purchasing through us. Is the 25th at 11:59 p.m. is when it closes. That's
Yeah,
when the link will
Pacific,
no
yeah,
longer be
Pacific
available.
Standard
Yeah,
Time, right?
Pacific time. Yeah. So you have all the way to the 25th to purchase. If you're as excited as a lot of these people seem to be that are already getting on there and buying, you can get it now and start digging through the content and really start getting into the nuts and bolts of how this thing's going to work.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, you go to these sessions that Jason's going to be offering with a lot of this knowledge already, and you'll be able to ask the right kind of questions in advance.
Yeah,
So,
real quick, Van. Actually, Tatiana said, is there any way I could get stuck? And then, laugh out loud because it's true. Like there has never ever been a point where I've been like, oh, what do I do next? I wish someone could help me. Like it was
oh yeah.
there was that even crawl into the realm of possibility with me of just like, what should I do next? There was always something I knew how to do next, or somebody else saying, oh, okay, here's the next thing that you need to do. Like you
Right.
won't even have a moment to go, I think I'm kind of confused.
No, in fact, there's nothing in here I'd ever consider a roadblock. You might have speed bumps that will be like, oh, well, how do I do this? By asking the people in the group, by asking us, by asking, with your coaching session, you will basically have access to any kind of answer to help you out over any hurdle. I don't think there is an issue somebody has not come up with yet. I think pretty much anything that you'll come across as a problem is easily solvable by the group, by Jason, by Matson, by all the people that are willing to throw you an answer.
Mhm.
So, all right, and then bonus number 4, live one-day event with Rapid Crush. I saw the webinar for this last year, and I was pretty dang impressed. In fact, this is one of the things that Zane pointed me to when I was learning about this. But this is the day before the July 3rd seminar for all ASM members. Like I said, Jason's an affiliate, so this includes every single person that has bought the ASM product. Um, he basically does a seminar the day before to basically say, hey, you know what? Let's talk about some of our strategies. And by the way, this is confidential. It's within our group. We don't share it with other ASM people.
Mhm.
They're very adamant about that because the techniques and the things that we have are special and unique to Jason and Wilson. It's not something that is common knowledge to all the ASM people out there. So ASM Masters is Jason's thing, and it will be what you're part of when you buy.
Right.
So,
But like specific to the event, like the ASM guys have their own event every year, and it's like that's part of the investment is that here's all the great content. We go through it week by week for 2 whole months, and then a few months after that, there's actually a live event. So it's not just like, hey, here's some digital information, and you get the feeling of community. No, like they really want you to know that there are other people out there, so they have an actual full-on 3-day event. And Jason said, okay, I'm going to have my own event for specifically ASM Masters. So what he does is he just tacks it on the day before, and then you have like a full day. And what's even better is you have a full day of working and networking with the people that you know, all the people that you've been meeting in the Facebook group, and now you're seeing them face to face, and you have like a 1 day full advantage ahead of everybody else to really get all the cool secrets and benefits that you get from being a part of our group, the ASM Masters group. And then the next 3 days is like, oh yeah, there's all the rest of those guys and that stuff. I mean, I don't
ones
want
that
to
are
make it
slumming
sound
it.
like I'm like thumbing them down or anything like that, because it's still an amazing community. But what Jason is saying is like, here's a great opportunity to bring our community closer together along with their community, which I
Yeah.
thought was just a brilliant idea.
And more importantly, I mean, these events sometimes are very hard to get to, depending on your own schedule and obligations. They will offer this as a live stream as well, and usually after that, it also becomes available as a webinar. So you'll have access to this whether you can be there or not. So that's their bonus number 4. Bonus number 5. This is one of my favorite little toys that they have. It's the best matrix. It's the best seller matrix software.
Mm.
Um, Basically, it has a list of all the different categories that Google or Amazon has. It has filters that you can rank by price, reviews, rating, so you can kind of get a feel for what products there are out there that fall within the parameters of being a good product to sell. So at one point, Jason, said, "Hey, do you want to try to find a product by hand?" No.
You, right.
That's like saying, do you want to go outside and cut the grass with the scissors, or do you want to use the lawnmower?
Yeah.
And so this tool really gets down to the nitty gritty on finding a good product quickly so that you don't have to be hung up for weeks going,
Hmm.
oh, what's that product I'm going to sell? And it's constantly updated. And this is a list that is only available to the ASM Master group
Hmm.
or to Jason's group. It's not
Yeah.
available to the general ASM content out there.
Yeah. With that said, I mean, like the next bonus, I really enjoy. It's the ASM Ranker software. This is what I was telling you about. That when you use this specific software, it basically tells Amazon that, oh, this person's searching for this, and we're going straight to this listing. So again, Amazon sees it as high conversion. Right.
Yeah.
So this is the ranking software that they're talking about, and it's helped produce so many amazing results, dramatic leaps from pages like things like page 300 up to page 2 or 4 or something like that. Christopher, if you can back me up, there are some things that need to be I don't know if I'm saying this right. Christopher, just like if you have any additional pieces of information specific to the ASM Ranker tool, so that I don't ramble on, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But there's some amazing testimonials specifically about this tool, like from Jen here. She's also in the community. You'll see her. She says, XOXO to the ranking kings, Wilson Matos and Jason Fladlin. I'm now ranking as a second category on page 1, thanks to this amazing ranker tool. Another one, actually, it's her again, saying 3 days of listing and jumped 40 pages and on #1 ranking for a few of her keywords. Another Tess is saying that she got to page 1 so quickly, the ASM ranker, it led to a lot of organic sales that week, and she's almost done $4,000 in sales because of this software.
Well, she
Another
almost
one,
ran out of inventory. That
yeah,
was part of the problem, is that she
yeah.
sold so quickly that her inventory was drying up. She had to reorder.
And she wasn't anticipating it, right? I mean, like, how great would it be? How talk about a higher quality of problem to have, that you're starting out. You're like, okay, I don't know about this. Let's see how this inventory thing goes. And all of a sudden, within days, it's just gone. And you're like, oh no, I'm going to be losing money if I don't hurry up and get that inventory. Suddenly, your mindset totally switches from like, I don't know if I can do this, to holy crap, I got to hurry up and get this done. These
Yeah.
tools are what gets you there.
Well, here's bonus number 6, which is saying, I'm going to have to get more clarity from Jason on this because this sounds really, really intriguing, but he didn't give us a lot of details. He says the Ranker software was our best secret weapon. It's now our second best. More on that in a second. Unfortunately, since things were going hot and heavy this morning, we didn't get a chance to get more clarity on that, but we will be posting in the group basically what that bonus number 6 is. But if it's already leagues ahead of anything out there and it's better than the Ranker tool, I'm like, okay, I'm
Right?
on it.
Yeah.
Um, bonus 7. We kind of touched upon this earlier when we were talking about outsourcing overseas, finding a manufacturer that isn't in the U.S. And like I said, there's a lot of people that aren't in the U.S., but the people in the U.S. were always intrigued with finding a cheaper way to get product here. And so they have a China concierge service. So basically, this is somebody who is an expert in manufacturing in China. And so he speaks the language, he knows the regions, he knows how to find the best companies, and he'll be at your beck and call to help you find product in China if that's a route that you want to go. So once again, that's a big question mark a lot of people have, is how do I make it even better if I want to get product even cheaper by bringing it in from overseas? This guy will help you out. So once again, another roadblock that they've removed. Oh, here's a list of the things that he helps you with. The concierge will help you find suppliers, communicating with suppliers, vetting suppliers. He will help you with price negotiations, because I think there's definitely going to be that, hey, here's an American looking for something, I'm going to up my
Right.
prices. So he's going to help you with that. Getting samples, placing orders, and more. So this is a guy who's definitely going to help you jump through all the right hoops to deal with things that are overseas. Um,
So yeah, the next bonus, unless you had some more things to say about
nope,
bonus 7.
moving
All right,
on.
cool. All right, so bonus 8 is the hot new way to release in 4 days on Amazon. All right. So we're talking about a Facebook ad strategy that's been created, plus using the ASM Ranker tool that we just mentioned, and then also we've got Ben Cummings creating one of the most powerful and easy to duplicate systems that Jason's ever seen. And to impress Jason, it takes a lot. So if he's saying like, "Holy crap, this is the best thing I've ever witnessed," all right, awesome. So this again would have benefited us early in the beginning of putting this together. It's just that it hasn't been put together until now. So I'm actually seeing this for the first time going, holy crap, as soon as we're finished here, we need to go make that happen, right?
Yeah, definitely. No,
So any of the details, no, okay, all right, yeah.
well, bonus number 6, I just got a little more information on it. It's the funnel system. Remember that
Ew,
little
right.
French dog that we saw?
That's right, the French dog.
Yeah. So Jason he's basically saying, look, you know what? You're getting all these really awesome things. You're getting the basically the see, sorry, I lost my place. um, basically, you're getting all the benefits, the bonuses, the community, the coaching, the extra events. It's just
Hmm.
the China
Yeah,
Concierge, the Ranker software, the Matrix software, or finding your product software. Um, strategy
yeah.
with Morgan, Matson, or Jason. The best thing he's saying for last, he says, you get everything, the templates to fill in all the blanks, the training behind why it works so well, and how you can make it work for you is basically the funnel.
Yeah, yeah. No, in fact, Christopher makes a really good point. Like these bonuses that have come around this time around, just blows all the bonuses out of the water. I mean, like it's great that all the bonuses from last time are still there and they still exist in this framework of these bonuses, but they're like, nah, we need to make it just a little bit better. And when we say a little bit, we mean a lot. And Christopher, you're absolutely right. It blows all of them out, all the other tools out of the water. Just amazing. I got to get back
Yeah.
on this.
Well, basically, what Jason's saying is that for the last 9 months, they were working with a viral marketing company in this industry. And so they've helped build a
Oh.
viral app specifically to accomplish two things. One is an immediate jumpstart in sales. We run it through the Ranker software for you. We get a ton of 5-star reviews that continually come in one after another. In February, we were able to take products from people in our private ASM group. So you remember that beta program?
Oh yeah, that one. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. Ah.
So that's the beta program. So basically, they were working with a viral marketing community to kind of basically see, all right, you're good at viral marketing. Let's see how you can help us with doing stuff on Amazon.
Right.
So it's just, and starting in April, we unleashed this viral app to the public, innocently enough, of course. And here are some, and then he says things just went nuts. He says, here's somebody that commented. He says, hey, Will and Jason, I just got one of those Amazon #1 bestseller badge on my product for a primary keyword just now. Just a couple
Hey.
hours just a couple hours after my product went viral this afternoon. Thought you want to know that your beta is working just fine. Thanks, guys. Jennifer says BSR, I guess that's the beta program,
Mm.
now under 1K for the first time ever. At this rate, I'm going to hit my max tomorrow. Do you need to notify when it hits it and have turned off the promotion? Looking forward to the bump in reviews. 35 sales so far today, 38 total. BSR jumped from ranking of 48,900 to 2,629 and now listed in a second subcategory.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's tons of people that are just basically talking about how this ranker tool is just going nuts for them, and it's happening quick. It's not like, oh, I gotta wait a week to see these things. These people are seeing them within the day, how quickly they're jumping up in the bonus in the ranking. So, geez, he's got like 20 different.
Wow. Yeah. There's a lot of people talking about how awesome it is.
Yeah. So he says anyone else claiming they have traffic generating bonuses might have one, but it's nothing like this thing. So the point is, he's like, do you want to gamble on your future, or would you rather have a sure thing? Jason and Wilson are trying to make this thing as pretty much as risk free as possible. I mean, there literally is going to be very little failure if you follow the system the way it's supposed to be. He says our system is still in beta. It's only been public for 12 days. So they've had all the success within the past 12 days. I mean, that's an amazing experiment to see that happen so quickly. He says, now I'm going to do something that will be imitated but never duplicated. For the first time ASM was open, we did something no one else has had the guts to do. And this is where I'm pointing out, okay, the bottom line, this product is going to cost $3,500 to do, or you could do 4 monthly payments of $997 or $1,000 for the next 4 months. Um, Basically, Jason's guaranteeing you that you're going to have success. I'm just going to jump forward to the part where he talks about this guarantee because one of
Right.
the
Yeah.
issues one of the issues he had was that you get part of the general guarantee that ASM gives you is that you have 30 days to test this out and get your money back. Here's the catch: is that the courses that they offer take 8 weeks to get through, so your 30 days will expire before your courses are up. So Jason put this out there last time, or maybe it's this time around, saying that he will buy back your inventory if you're failing. So I know there's people that had concerns saying, hey, I don't know, if I want to put this money in there or just getting the test. And if you feel like this thing is a complete bomb and you've done everything you can, Jason will buy it back. And he's even willing to buy it up for a 200% markup. That's the crazy thing. That's how much he's guaranteeing that even if you buy this product and you go and get your inventory, you move forward, he'll still buy it back if you don't feel like this is working for you. So he says he wanted to make much more, he wanted to make a much bigger commitment. And he wanted to give you the certainty of success guaranteed. He said it comes in two parts. He says, I guarantee you'll have the best tools, software, experience, support, and training from Wilson and myself to aid you in turning a net profit. This is the part that blew my mind. He says, I will guarantee you'll make $2,500 by the end of May 31st, 2014.
May 31st, like as
Yeah,
like basically 6 weeks from now.
yeah. Not only that, but you will have gotten $2,500 by the end of that time. He's guaranteeing that. I'm like, when I read that, I'm like, Wilson, you need to verify this. So Wilson's like, that's it. That's what I'm like, we can use that guarantee. He's like, yep, go for it. He says, if that doesn't happen, I will personally cover your expenses up to, he said $1,000, but they have gone and actually said unlimited. So whatever your expenses were for getting started, he will cover it. And he says it gets even better. Oh, I'm like, wow,
Wait,
you guys
what?
are really confident this thing is going to work. He says, Wilson and I have a pool of products we have vetted that are hot. So not only do they have their own matrix for finding products, but they take it a step further and say, hey, out of all those items in this list, this part, these products right here are going to do even better than everything else on there. And he says, we'll let you choose one of these products, and then guess what? I'm like, all right, Zane, you've had experience in doing product development.
Right.
One of the things that you don't want to do is hold people's hands through the whole thing, right? It can be very overwhelming.
Right. Well, I mean that's kind of part of the reason why you make the product in the first place. But yeah, generally it's not an awesome thing to hold your hand.
Right. So, but here's the thing. Jason and Will, they say so this is their guarantee. He says, we will do all the work. We source it for you and pay for it. We get the labels designed. We write the product listing for it. We generate all the traffic to it. We incur all the cost. You keep all the profit. Okay, I'm sorry, but if you feel like you have something to risk at this point, I'm trying to figure out what it would be. Here's the guys that are willing to put in their time and their money and do all the work, and at the same time, training you how to make sure this happens. I'm sure they're not just going to shut the door and say, when we come out, this will all be ready for you. You get to see what they're doing. And then he says, if by June 25th, if you still have not netted profit of $2,500, we will buy your ASM account from you and pay you $5,000 for your time. Mind blown. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Right.
you're, yeah, I know. And here's the crazy thing. He says, to show how serious I am, check this out. Um, it's on page 265. Why don't you throw that up there right now? This is a
Yeah.
letter from his bank saying that he has the money to back up this kind of commitment.
Holy shit. Yeah. Look
Yeah.
at that.
So he has $500,000 in the bank to basically make sure that you are going to have success. And he says, well, our guarantee last time blew everyone away. Could it get better than this? Like I said, if I had the
No.
opportunity to buy this again, I would do it again. I'm like, this guarantee is just totally, like I said, it blows my mind how much of a commitment they are putting into this. So he says, this is the best system available, and I 100% agree. You can't get a system better than this. We have the best
Yeah.
bonuses, which is one of the reasons why Zane and I are like, we don't even want to try to compete with you as an affiliate. I mean, this is,
Yeah.
you can't get a better deal than this. and you have the best guarantee. So after, was it July? What month was that? June.
June,
After
yes.
June 25th, if you still, after going through all of that effort, have not made $2,500, they will go, okay, we are just going to buy your account and pay you $5,000. And do you know why they're going to do that? I mean, I was like, why would they do that? And Zane actually pointed this out to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, this I have to ask him to be sure, but like as I see it, like they want us, like they have these products already lined up, and they say, okay, these are the best to do. So if someone wants to back out, like that's how involved they are. Like if someone's going to back out, then they know that they can keep pushing it and make it happen. So yeah, okay, cool, we'll buy all your inventory because
Well,
it fits all the.
yeah,
Like,
it
is
fits
that
all the
what? Yeah.
parameters, but they've also, by May 31st, they will have set it all up for you. And by June 25th, it's going to be up and going. So
Yeah, they're
even if you
doing all
feel
the
like it's,
work already.
yeah. So they're like, you know what? If you don't want it, I'll take it because it's still worth something. So that's the thing. They still have vision. They're still like, you know what? If we're going to go through and say there's 20 people that have this issue, that's 20 products they could have lined up all ready to go. So I know they're being generous, but at the same time, they see opportunity by taking over somebody else's account if they really, really do not want it. So it's $3,500 to buy this product, or you pay 4 payments of $1,000. So either way, you're putting in this money. You spend another $700 in inventory and maybe a couple $100 in getting labeling and everything going up. So by the time you're all said and done, the amount of time that you've invested is possibly around $5,000, which they are willing to give you back for something you don't feel is going to work. They're going to give you back the $5,000 if you're like, eh, sorry. So not only
Yep.
do you get your money back on the initial purchase of the product, but you get your money back on your inventory and everything. They take it over, you walk away. Jason's happy, you're happy, nobody's lost anything.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, Tatiana is asking, can I have the link to the landing page of Jason and Will's? This link right here, the m2methods.com/ASM. It's also in the link just below this video on the event page, as well as the watch page. That link will take you to Jason and Will's landing page.
Yeah, let's
Right.
let's just be very clear. Whatever we're selling it for them. So you are being funneled to the ASM Masters that Jason and Wilson are selling. So we're selling for them. Our link takes you to their product. Everything that we're selling here or committing to is through Jason and Wilson. So like I said, it's kind of like you go out to dinner, you want to tip your waiter, that's us, and Jason and Will are the managers. So basically, we get the commission for helping them make another sale. So
Right.
like I said, you're getting all the tools and stuff that Jason's offering here. You're just going to be going through us as the guys that are helping take care of your needs. So
Awesome.
but you know what? That pretty much, I think, takes us to the end. I mean, you got that kind of guarantee that you cannot fail, and if you do fail, they are willing to buy back everything for $5,000. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't.
yeah, and just I mean, I just want to make this point really quick. I mean, I've been involved in online marketing since 2008, specifically through YouTube, and I got involved in information product creation, like what I'm doing now, in about 2010. I've been at this for 4 years myself, seeing other people's products, helping other launches, all from A to Z, the whole kit and the caboodle, and I have never ever seen a product that has as powerful as a guarantee as this. I mean, it's literally no risk because all the money that you're putting into it, Jason's saying, if it all goes sideways, I will give it all back to you.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's
it
the
just
thing. He's
doesn't
like,
get any better.
no, and the fact that to me, I always think, okay, if Jason's willing to do that, that's because he believes that he can still make this thing work. And
Yeah,
that's the thing. Jason doesn't give up. He
he
never
does not.
surrenders.
No, yeah.
So, are there any other questions on the forum that we need to address? Because, like I said, I feel like we've basically have worked through this. So,
Um, I'm not.
oh,
Uh, yeah. Sorry, what?
I think Christopher just says the fact that the server crashed indicated a great demand for this product.
the server, the server crashed, right?
Yeah.
Right. I've always wanted to use that sound effect. No, and it happens, but I know Jason and Will, like they'll probably be on the phone with the guys like fix your servers, and probably by the end of the day have some sort of magical system connected to where if theirs doesn't work, they can go through Jason's and Will's. Like I don't know, but it should be fixed, very very shortly.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it looks like Tatiana just wanted to kind of see the bonuses. Um, we will actually put together a graphic that kind of lists out the bonuses, and more importantly, I believe Jason has said that he would do a hangout with us to specifically talk about bonuses because one of the things we find is the biggest interest is the bonus, the software, and the tools, and so we would like to do a hangout with Jason and Wilson or either or to basically say, hey, we want a really good explanation of all the Hangout, or not the Hangout, all the bonuses and the software. Um,
right.
it's just such a compelling part of the package. So I agree with Tatiana. There should be more information on the bonuses there.
I could have sworn that that link actually should show people the bonuses, but again, we will have that put together, and you'll be able to see the list, right? Because I mean, it just barely opened, like
Yeah,
what, like an hour ago, like so it just barely opened, just very recently, but it will be closing on the 25th. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, you can email me, you can contact me, and got my phone number right there. Actually, there's already a few calls that I missed. Sorry. But I'm on the call. I'm on here, so you can talk to me here, and then you can talk to me on the phone. So like there we go. Right.
yeah, definitely. And even in the community, if you want to post questions or other concerns, or you just want to tell, how excited you are, we definitely love to hear people's excitement and their success stories. So, um, yeah, that's what I hit. This is an awesome product, and like I said, Zane and I we're gonna probably get off this and start working on the next product.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Especially with some of the stuff that he's talking about. It's like, well, hey, Jason, we're helping you. Where we are on that one.
Well, we've definitely been jumping around, but like I said, this
Oh
has
yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
refocused us. So
So excellent. And so let's go ahead and wave goodbye. It's been great talking to you guys and going over this. But yeah, like Van said, we should get back to doing our Amazon stuff. Any final thoughts before we go?
nope. I'm gonna just say your only enemy in this is gonna be yourself, and
Right.
if you don't do this, you'll be kicking yourself because I've heard too many of the stories of people saying, I wish I jumped on that and now I've wasted 6 whole months of getting the product out there. Because within 6 months, you could be making the
Yeah.
25, the 5,000, the 10,000. I mean, it is,
Sky's the limit.
yeah, it is the
Yeah.
limit. So,
Well, and
anyways,
yeah, and I just wanted to chime in here before we go. This YouTube channel has been around since October, and every single month, at least a couple times a month, there's somebody going, "Wait, can I still get this link?" And it hurts me to say, like I have to reply and be like, "Sorry, it's closed. I don't know when it's going to open again." Because like we said, it's opened two other times, about 6 months apart, but they never tell us. Like so, we don't know for sure. We can assume that okay, maybe it'll be open again, but like with bonuses like this, I don't know if they're going to be okay with opening it up again. And again, they just don't tell us that kind of stuff. So don't be one of those people who are like, man, can I still buy this? That then after I've seen this awesome hangout, sorry, the 25th of April at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the cart closes, and that's it. We can't help you. There's no like ropes we can pull or anything like that, like people like to say.
yeah. And make sure to order through our link. That's it.
Yep. All right. See you
Thanks.
guys.
Peace out.